Good evening, iRacers. Welcome back to the final round of the season for BSR Radical Thursday from the glorious Mount Panorama Circuit, Bathurst. I'm Lee Thompson, bringing you the commentary along with Alex Simpson as normal. As I said, round 12, final race of the season. What a challenge these guys have got ahead of them to wrap up the championship, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of all the circuits you want to end on, I would think this is probably the one you'd want to avoid the most, that's for sure. So much can go wrong here. But obviously so much can go right as well if you love this place. So going to be very, very interesting final three races of the season. Still all to play for at the moment with drop rounds taken into effect. So championship is still open. Although that said, I do believe... I think maybe even Craig Williams could make it there on the AM Championship, but one finish from Sam Fitzpatrick tonight will get him the AM Championship. It's all about the Pro Championship though. Can he take both the Pro and the AM? I think that's the first time I've seen in BSR history the AM driver winning both the Pro and the AM seriously. Yeah,
well, that would be quite a turnout if that's the case. And I would not want to be, in the climax of a championship battle here at this circuit. Not only have you got to worry about your own, utmost concentration to survive just your own driving through this race and not put it in a wall, but you got to worry about the other 14 drivers that we've got on the grid here today, and can they all keep it out of the wall, and are you not going to get caught up in their instance? So it's going to be super fortunate for the guys if all of our championship challenges can get a clean run through the evening, but you never know. It's really going to be about survival and playing those percentages a little bit, not taking the risks and just racking up those points and seeing where the end of a race brings you.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to quickly touch on the points very quickly. So looking at the points without the drop weeks right now, so Sam Fitzpatrick leads by 335, but with the drop weeks, I believe it's 120 points to Nicole Foggy. So that's what I mean. It's still very much in play. Kane Halliburton and Williams there as well. So about 150 and 270 points is the difference there. So yeah, it's actually very close, still everything to go for, but really I think from Fitzpatrick point of view, 3 solid finishes should get him the championship. So we were talking a little bit before off air, Sam at the moment struggling with a bit of overall pacing qualifying, but don't think that's going to be the be all and end all of it tonight. With actually a grid of about 15 cars, he can still score the points that he needs as long as he makes sure he actually finishes at least, all 3 races, really.
Absolutely, and then it'll all be about reverse grids and how they fall for the various challenges and how that's going to affect race 2, race 3. So, yeah, after the results of race 1, we'll roll the reverse grid wheel, and that'll be what the next 2 races will be based on the grid wheel from the previous race. So that's really going to mix things up, and with only 15 runners, all runners who are only 1 lap down or better will be eligible for that reverse grid, potentially, depending on the number it falls on. So that's really going to be interesting for you guys, see how it turns out. So qualifying, sorry, Alex, is just finishing up. As the session ticks over, we'll then be able to bring up the qualifying standings. But I can tell you that Nicole Foggy is going to line up on pole position alongside Kane Halliburton in second. So 1 minute 59.544 for Nicole Foggy for XVR. Kane Halliburton was 2/10 off, so a little bit more gap there than you might expect between these two. They've been so closely matched all season, but obviously Nicole managed just to hook up the 1 lap, I guess. Paul Crabb then lines up behind in third with Dan Webster in fourth. Jack McIntyre in fifth with XVR. Runner Johnny Brandon in sixth. Richard Warmingham in seventh with Kip Stevens in eighth. James McRitchie in ninth. Jamie Mayers in 10th. And then our championship leader, as we were talking about, Sam Fitzpatrick down in 11th position with Luke Cooper in 12th. Steve Hefford in 13th with Paul Denton in 14th. And Tyler Vickery is in 15th position. He may not take part in the session. He didn't look like he set a time, but we shall see if he rocks up before the race.
Looking forward to this, seeing what's going to happen. I sort of briefly touched on it, but of course, for those tuning in for the first time, 2 laps or down gets you 0 points. That's what Fitzpatrick needs to avoid tonight.
All right, so Nicole Foggy and Kane Halliburton off the line, and Nicole Foggy's going to have the inside for turn 1. Easily got the launch off the line. Halliburton has to settle into second. Paul Crabb slots in third. How do everyone get through that first corner? It looks a little bit busier further back. But as I see them all streaming through the back of the picture, looks like the whole grid got through cleanly, so good job there, guys. Sam Fitzpatrick's gained 1 spot, Tyler Vickery's gained 1 spot. Nicole Foggy got the run on Halliburton still, so he's not going to be under pressure now coming into turn 2. But side by side between Webster and McIntyre behind.
Yeah, nice clean start. Exactly what we needed here, I think, Lee. And yeah, we'll see how this first lap goes. Always a bit tricky. Everyone's just sort of trying to scramble, get some positions early. The opening lap's always a problem when you have a crash towards the front of the pack as well, so nowhere for anyone to go. So far, we're looking good.
Yeah, look, great job from the guys there, and it's going to be tricky on this first lap as well. A bit more understeer following the car in front through these faster sections. A little bit of sparks flying off one of the cars. There's damage to the rear wing as a result. I think that would have been Johnny Brandon, perhaps, and yeah, may have a little bit of damage in the rear wing there. But as they start coming down the mountain now, McIntyre all out of shape, and he just about managed to make the corner somehow, but now Johnny Brandon has got the absolute run out of that corner, all over his gearbox, moves out the slipstream. But yeah, McIntyre, great job to somehow make the corner as the rear broke away on the braking.
I was trying to find that damage. It looks all good on my screen, so maybe just one of those little phantom hits that you get. So yeah, Brandon all good as he's side by side here going into the chase.
Yeah, McIntyre having the inside line, covers the spot. Oh, takes way too much entry curb. Big tank slapper onto the grass. Fortunately not into the path of the rest of the cars. But yeah, as you say, going into the chase there, just a big wallop of inside curb.
Yeah, you can't do that. Just you could see the car bounce just all over the place the minute he hit it, and just wouldn't settle down for him. And yeah, unfortunately, as much as he was fighting it and we were willing it, just yeah, just snuck away from him.
So championship leader Sam Fitzpatrick up 2 spots now from his grid position into 9th, as we see the string of cars rolling down that huge hill almost on the straight there that you have here at Bathurst. Little bit of pairing up going on at the minute. So Nicole Foggy and Kane Halliburton 1-2, Paul Crabb, Dan Webster 3-4. That looks like the 2 main battles that we're seeing certainly in the first half of the field so far. Yeah, cracking job for everyone really. All we're seeing is McIntyre having an incident so far. I'm not seeing any other real breaks in the field. So everyone's surviving so far as they're halfway through lap 2.
Yeah, McIntyre bounced out of the way as well, so no one else caught up in that, and he still survives. He's still at the back of the pack. Unfortunately lost 10 places, but actually he just moved past Tyler Vickery as well, so just down to net 9 loss at this point. Kip Stevens looks very, very close to sorry, it's McRitchie that's close to Kip Stevens, shall we say.
Yeah, he was just a couple of tenths behind earlier in that lap earlier on. He's not much more behind that now. What kind of run are they going to get out of Forest Elbows here onto the straight? Looks pretty even for both of them, but McRitchie's going to have that toe starting to kick in. Warmingham ahead of him is 1.14, so Stevens going to get a little bit of toe from the green car you can see in the front of the shot there, but McRitchie's not quite going to have enough of a drag, I don't think, to make a move. He's thinking about it. Yeah, not close enough this time by. Is he going to make a move out on the approach to the chase? Is not. Kip Stevens holds on to that 7th position for now. Back at the front, Dan Webster still just 2-3 tenths ahead of Paul Crabb then in 4th as they work their way through the final corner. You can see damage on the rear of Paul Crabb. Perhaps that's the car I saw with a little bit of rearing damage earlier on maybe. So yeah, he's suffering. Doesn't seem to be affecting his pace too badly at the minute, but he has lost 1 place to Dan Webster from his starting position. Johnny Brandon there behind looks like he's going to be reining him in. Last time by, he was a second quicker than Paul Crabb.
Did you just see that on screen as well? Literally, Crabb's car just went.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I look back and it's fine again. So yeah,
I think that's pretty common around here. Actually, you see those just kind of like phantom hits, just because the server it thinks there's contact, and that's what it predicts for us. But actually, in this case, I think Crabb was super close to the wall, but didn't actually make contact.
And Johnny Brandon behind there, pushing hard, locking up the front. It looked like going into the cutting that time by. Yeah, has closed on Paul Crabb, as we were saying. Further back, just a tenth between Hefford and Mayers is building up to 2.5 tenths now, so there was a close moment there. Jack McIntyre just... James McRitchie is out and retired to pit lane. So issues there for Ritchie, McIntyre and Vickery both move up 12th to 13th.
See if we can see a replay of exactly what happened here. I don't think... Oh, that was it, sorry. Let's get that back. See exactly what happened. Looked like he just lost it under the braking. Yeah, massive twitch. And yeah, unfortunately, it was a one-way trip to the wall.
Yeah, really had no chance there. As you say, as soon as he went offline, that was it. The wall was just right in his face. Yeah, these little pairs developing. Oh, I've still seeing the replay. The little pairs developing are going to shape up quite nicely as we go through the race. I've seen Denton very, very close to Jack McIntyre. McIntyre makes a move on Paul Denton 11th and 12th. So that was down Conrad Straight from looks at it. And McIntyre again takes a huge amount of curb. Yeah, his car got out of shape again. He managed to keep it together, but kind of once bitten, twice shy, not really applying that time by it seems, but he's got a huge amount of damage on that right side.
Yeah, I'm seeing exactly the same thing. So maybe that one is legit this time. We'll keep an eye. See, place your bets now. Will it ping back into place, and have us for a third time, or will it? Oh, well, the car might have him for another time there, as he has a major twitch, and Denton surely going to get a run and gets past. Indeed, he does.
Yeah, and back up the field, Kip Stevens and Jamie Mayers very, very close, just a 10th between them as they're going up the mountain. Oh, having a little look, there is Mayers. Oh, and a bit of a tag from behind as well, was it? So, yeah, Mayers and Hefford, sorry, it was, wasn't it? So, very, very close between those two as they came to.
Yeah, Hefford, again, another car with a little bit of damage on the back of it there, but seems like Mayers has weathered that storm and just zipped away. I don't know if that was actually an overtake from Mayers and getting past, because Hefford all of a sudden just seems to be dropping back, so maybe he has got a bit of damage and it's affecting him a little bit more than some of the others out there, because Pace just, what is it now, second in one lap.
Kane Halliburton, Alex, down in 6th position. How long ago did we miss that? Nicole Foggy now has a 4-second lead over P2, who's now Dan Webster. So I don't know if that's in your event viewer, but I wonder if we missed that a little while ago, maybe.
Yeah, I've got this. Picking that up for us, I think. There's already some damage on there. Ah, just coming off of the chase, just picks up the curb.
So I wonder if he got that damage through the mountain that time by, and then struggled down the straight and led to there. So yeah, Kane Halliburton down in 6th place now, struggling, I'm sure, with that damage. We'll see what his lap time's like next time by, but it's just going to be a matter of surviving for now. It doesn't look like he's closing straight away back on Warmingham though, trying to challenge for 5th as they come through turn 1. But and I'm not seeing any damage now on Halliburton's car again. So yeah, we're need to take all damage we see on the screen with a pinch of salt today.
Yeah, I think so.
Right, so here they come, and Halliburton looking like he's not going to be close enough to turn 2 on Warmingham, but Warmingham still defends. Halliburton going to try and drive straight around the outside. Going to run out of road. Does he keep out of wall? He just barely does. That seemed very strange here. Warmingham must have braked really early. It seemed like on the camera angle that Halliburton was nowhere near close enough to even look for a move.
You never really go for one around the outside there, because the camber on the circuit, you know, it's so much faster on the inside. You can carry that much more speed than you can even around the outside. So point and proof right there. Even if you do sort of send one around the outside, you just cannot carry the speed you need.
Yeah, even for a driver of caliber of Halliburton as well, even he couldn't manage it. So yeah, but again, we see how close he is through the mountain, coming down the mountain now, and just the speed difference that the guys can carry. I'm sure Halliburton is having to back off a little bit on Warmingham, and we'll see what kind of run he gets now as they head down.
Oh, who was that?
Conrad Straight, and that was Brandon.
Let's have a look.
Johnny Brandon in the wall at some point, I'm sure, then. Is it going to be the same issue that we saw for McIntyre earlier on?
Oh, he lost it very early, didn't he? Just lost coming down. Yeah. Square on, so he might be okay. I've got another little nick there. We'll see.
And no, he's in pit lane is Johnny Brandon, so that is him out of this race. That promotes Halliburton up to 4th. He's got past Warmingham as we were away. So Warmingham now down into 5th position. So our top 10
Fitzpatrick in
then.
8th. Sorry, I was a bit delayed there. Fitzpatrick in 8th, so up 3 spots. So he's doing exactly what he needs that we talked about earlier on.
Absolutely, ticking those positions away. So the top 10 then. Nicole Foggy in first position with almost a 5-second gap now. You can barely see the cars further down the straight. Dan Webster then still closely chased by Paul Crabb in third with some phantom damage coming and going on that rear wing still for Crabb. Then it is Kane Halliburton who we're just looking at, but they're 5.6 seconds back, and Warmingham is still right there with him for now. I wonder if he'll be able to follow him through the mountain. Kip Stevens then in 6th, just coming through turn 2. Jamie Mayers then in 7th with Sam Fitzpatrick, who we're just looking at, following closely behind in 8th. So there's potential for a 6th place maybe for Fitzpatrick. Then we've got Steve Hefford there in 9th, Jack McIntyre in 10th. And since there's only one other runner, we'll say that Luke Cooper is also in an 11th position with, again, possibly some damage on that car.
Yeah, way down as well, isn't he? If you look where he is, he's still not even started lap 5 at this point. So, seems to be struggling out there.
Yeah, so it looks like most of the battles have cooled off just for a minute. Our timing screens have moved more to a white and yellow shade instead of an angry orange and red. But still, so I think we've got potential for Fitzpatrick maybe trying to move forward. So last time by 2:01.7 for Sam Fitzpatrick. Mayer's ahead, just over a tenth slower. Kit Stevens ahead of him, about 3 tenths slower. So there's opportunities still as we go through, and we're only just over halfway through the race.
You were saying about this last week as well at the end of the race meeting we had that, you know, this is a good sort of car track combo that once you get into a rhythm, you fly. And I wonder if this is kind of what's happening with Sam here. He's just getting a little bit more comfortable with the car and slowly sort of eking into the margins that the guys have got ahead and improving his lap times lap on lap.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear from the guys after the race as Fitzpatrick misses the apex in the final corner there. It'd be interesting to hear from the guys on the race how the fixed setup has been for him there this week. I think it's going to be really critical as to whether you can get into that feeling, into that rhythm, or just how understeery the car is, or just how rough it is over the bumpy section. So for sure it's going to be a matter of, you know, can you have that feeling with the default setup. Dan Webster, Paul Crabb looking pretty close again. They're going orange on the timing screens. I saw him flash to 2 tenths a moment ago, but now down to 3.5 tenths. So Paul Crabb is looking feisty. They took very different lines working their way up the mountain there. So Webster's struggling and really lost a lot of drive coming that corner. I wonder if he had initial traction out of turn 3, the cutting.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, but could well have done. Seems back up sort of full speed again. That's my personal dread corner right there. So tricky. Yeah. You know, you want to take so much speed in there, and the back just gets really light on the car. Same down here. Yeah, exactly. Through the actual little right-hander kink, isn't it? I find that's the worst bit. It just fires you into the wall in the right. See if that's the challenges.
It's so tricky, as you say, to carry quick enough speed through the little right-hand kink first, brake late enough for the corner, and not have the rear wheel just flip 180 on you. So yeah, really difficult balance for these guys to measure. I'm sure there's probably a lot of throttle braking going on to keep that rear in check as they try and slow down for that critical corner on then the longest run on the circuit going down corner straight. So Dan Webster then still just looking like he's struggling a little bit maybe from Paul Crabb in third, but he's managed to fend him off in the second half of the lap. What kind of run is Crabb going to get out of turn 1 this time by? They both look clean through, and we're half a second down, so yeah, Webster's going to have that secured still for a minute. Sam Fitzpatrick has moved up to 7th, Alex, so we've lost Kip Stevens. Kip Stevens has retired, and Fitzpatrick has also got ahead of Steve Hefford then. So I said a moment ago that he had opportunities to move forward a little bit, and it looks like that has just happened. So here we go then, Kip Stevens, and that's Steve Hefford, Jimmy Mayers just behind.
Oh, I just lost it on the way in, and then Death Wiggle. I think we also had McIntyre crash again on that same lap, so a few people. I'm seeing reports of Richard Warmingham. Oh, that's a heavy hit as well from for McIntyre there. So let's take a look at the Warmingham one, see exactly what happened here as well, because he's still out there, but definitely reporting as a crash yet. Oh, well, just a little touch on the wall, but actually got away with that one, I'd say. Oh, yeah. Maybe not that one as we come back to live, and he just piles into the wall, so it's all going pear-shaped for Warmingham right now. Gets out of the way as well. Needs to, I think that car is toast. She's going to put it over. XVR not having the day they want. I'm pretty sure all the XVR drivers came out to play today to try and help this man out, of course. Foggy needed to outscore Fitzpatrick by a lot of points, and that's why they're all here, I'm sure, just to try and aid him there. He's doing his part, which is winning the race, of course, Lee, but they're not doing their part.
No, as you say, it really seemed like that team showing of attempted support, but as you say, we can see both Warmingham and Brandon in the pits now, but hey, it doesn't seem to have hindered Foggy at all. 8 seconds down the road now in second position. Dan Webster, who's still got Paul Crabb at close proximity behind, just 4 or 3.5 tenths behind. Further back as well, close proximity, Fitzpatrick, here we go, just a tenth or so behind Jamie Mayers as they cross the start-finish line. And he's looking like he could well get an opportunity to move up into 5th position. That would be 6 places gained from his starting slot. And let's see what kind of run he can get over the off the mountain and down onto Conrad Straight at the end of that.
He lifted out of it just a little bit there. Top 5 would make it very, very difficult for Foggy, I think. Well, I think almost impossible. He's basically relying on Fitzpatrick crashing out, get those points back. And I think it's almost in a very similar position now, even in this race, with how we started, of course. And I think that's kind of why Sam was perhaps a bit cagey there. You know, didn't want to risk anything, doesn't need to. He's got a championship on the line. Pick your moves, wait for an actual clear opportunity.
Yeah, as you say, there's certainly no rush. You really don't want to do anything rash through this mountain section. It's really just about getting yourself in position for the end of it and for that run down Conrad Straight, as we've seen. So we're seeing really the challenge of the circuit here. We're down to, well, I might say 8.5 runners now with McIntyre. McIntyre, no, it has in fact retired. So yeah, 8 runners that we're looking at now. 15 starters. Yeah, been a tough race for the guys out there so far.
Yeah, almost 50% of the whole grid has retired. I think we might see 50% or more by the time we reach the end of this race. I still feel like there's one more victim out there somewhere. Very, very close. Like, once again, Webster and Crabb, Fitzpatrick and Mayers very close as well on the timing street. Kane Halliburton, he's coming back at these guys.
Yeah, wow.
But I don't think it's going to be enough. This will surely be the white flag lap. Checker is going to come around. It's going to be close actually for Foggy. He might sneak it through, you know.
Yeah, and that could well give Halliburton the opportunity to get himself on the podium. And say he's come from a long way back. His fastest lap is a second quicker than Paul Crabb, and he was second and a couple of tenths quicker last time by on these guys. So yeah, he's going to continue to close. And Webster maybe getting a little bit out of shape heading into the corner. Gets on the power okay and pulls a little bit of space from Paul Crabb back.
Halliburton now showing on our timing battle sort of screen overlay box part there. And 1.2 seconds behind Webster. So we'll see if he can get closer. 50 seconds to go. Let's just quickly check in where Foggy is. Because, well, that's not far enough along on this lap to get to the start finish line. Conrad Straight is quite a long way, isn't it?
Yeah, as you say, I think this is going to be the final lap that we're on, but as I say, it was going to be fairly close. Halliburton's closed just to within 2 tenths now. Paul Crabb as they work their way through the mountain. And here they come now, onto Conrad Straight. So Crabb's lost a little bit of ground on Webster and is really now at risk from Halliburton. How much of a move is Halliburton going to force? He goes to the inside of this corner, which is going to put him, initially on the outside for the chase, but Crabb bumping and boring. What is going on there? Damage showing. Halliburton, can he get it stopped before Webster? He gets into the apex. He's going to have a good shot. Webster as well as Foggy comes over the line, takes a lights to flag victory. Who's going to get that second position? Here comes Dan Webster into the final corner, misses the apex, but he's going to be lucky that the start-finish line is straight away, and he just about holds on to that second place, but Halliburton came very, very close there at the end, 2 tenths.
And that is Mares just getting a little twitch on, and Fitzpatrick got past as well, so Fitzpatrick makes a top 5 in the first race, up 6 spots, so fantastic performance from Sam.
Yeah, great job from all of the finishers there to survive that race. And as you say, we saw some decent movements forward from 5th back, 6th position gain, 4th position gain, 5th position gained. And in fact, yeah, good job from, as you say, all those guys just to make it and survive.
Waiting for Cooper to finish before we can bring the final classifications. Car's a bit beat up, running around in the 205s. So, of course, he still finishes, so that's the important thing for him in terms of the wheel and points for his own personal championship. Let's have a quick look where he is, if I can find my mouse. Exactly see where he is in the championship. So, he's currently sat 10th. He moved it up 3 spots last week to get himself inside the top 10. So, yeah, I think he'll be happy with top 10 finish.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be, absolutely. I said it's a real tough job for the guys to get there, and you never know, could be lucky with the reverse grid wheel, and it could put him in a very strong position now for race 2. So yeah, Luke Cooper just finishing off a lap, as we can see, and then we will bring the confirmed race results. So good job for Luke there, bringing home that very damaged looking car. I'm sure that was really tough for him in the second half of the race to get that to the flag. Right, so here are our classified results then for race 1 from Mount Panorama. Nicole Foggy, we didn't really see him through the race. As soon as Halliburton had his little issue, what was it, 3 or 4 laps in, maybe a little bit later, he was pretty much on his own and finished in the end 10.812 seconds ahead of Dan Webster, who just barely hung on by the skin of his teeth to Kane Halliburton. I said he's quite lucky that there's a short run to the finish line out the final corner there, but he held on to that second place. Kane Halliburton recovering to a very strong 3rd, but Paul Crabb just missing out on the podium in 4th. Sam Fitzpatrick then in 5th. You can see the time difference between those guys, almost 20-second gap back from 4th to 5th. Finished just ahead of Jamie Mares by 4 tenths. Luke Cooper then, as we saw, finishing a little bit further down in 7th. And those are going to be the only guys eligible for reverse grid, Alex. Everyone else 2 laps or more down. Warmingham, Hefford, Stevens, McIntyre, Brandon, Denton, McRitchie, and Tyler Vickery.
Well, let's see what the... Sorry, no, you go.
Sorry, Alex. Is this going to be the lowest eligible grid, do you think, for a reverse grid wheel? It'll be pretty close.
Yeah, I think so. I can't see... Certainly in the races that I've covered, I haven't seen anything. And at the start of the season, there was a lot more runners, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be... I mean, there is almost no point in me spinning it.
What's the lowest number on our wheel, Alex?
Well, let's bring it up. Let's have a look. See, technically, there is still a reason to spin it, because we have a full -5. So that would... it doesn't matter how small that is.
Okay.
It still comes into play. I mean, that would put us, about 4th or something like that? So it would be a very, very small reverse grid. So, but yeah, outside of that, it looks like it's 10. So, yeah, that would still be like an absolute full one. So let's give it a spin. We'll see what we get. So, yeah, I'm guessing a lot of drivers are hoping we avoid the -5. But, see, I have to say, I haven't seen it pop up once this season. Spinning around. It might even come here. Will it stay? No, it hasn't. It flicked just by 1 segment. 14th, so we've got a full reverse grid.
Cool. So that means then that it was well worth, as I said, Luke Cooper limping home that poor damaged car, because he's now going to have the pressure of leading the field through the mountain for the first time in race 2, with Jamie Mares lining up alongside him in 2nd. Right, so join us then to see how the guys managed to shuffle themselves from that reverse grid for race 2, and we'll see which of the championship challengers can take the race win, if any, in race 2. before we go, whilst we're away, remember it's a good opportunity to like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. We're trying to build our interactivity options on Twitch by chat bot and that sort of thing. So if you are used to watching on Twitch other streams, then perhaps you could try that out as well. And also follow our Instagram page as well. So yes, we'll be back shortly whilst a race 2 session is set up, and we'll be looking forward to that. See you in a bit.
Oh, it's already got. What's that? There's a
7-Up. That's Stein Van Buell, isn't it?
That's Stein Van Buell, yeah. So the Wolf's been in the wars already. Oh, there's a car going slowly through Sunset Bend.
Replay.
Oh, it's 2 separate accidents, isn't it? Van Buell and whoever that is. Unfortunately, I couldn't see that. They had their own accident, and then DeVos had his own accident as well, I think. Oh, Showman's are spun off separately. Turn 1, that is.
A lot of drama unfolding just on that lap. What it does mean, though, is that Ian Van Genexten is only 0.2 of a second away from Macaulay now, and these two have pretty much swept all the races so far this season, and battle is resumed after a week's break right on the circuit.
Yeah, Van Genexten qualifies pretty well, to be honest, but he's just fantastic in the races, and he's shown that he's been exceptional this season so far. So was Macaulay, though, and sort of switched teams. He told us after he entered the series, so that's why there's only one CQR car out there. But he said you never know, he might return with the team next year. Tell you what, I'll tell you something. I can guarantee you one thing, Adam. If there's one thing I can guarantee, it's that he won't be silver next year. Next season.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he will, unless he fills in the entry form role.
Oh, he nearly crashes there.
Yeah, BMW. We said it's a pretty stable car, but he was sliding his way out of Tower Bend there, and it's allowing Van Genexten to really apply the pressure now. Just a tenth of a second between them. Don't go up the inside there, Van Genexten. That would almost end in disaster, and he doesn't. But he does have a Sunset Bend coming up. Could be a real opportunity for the Merc to apply the finishing touch to the BMW here.
It really does look intimidating when the Mercedes is chasing down the BMW. Such a size difference. And he's got a great slipstream here and less than 0.2 of a second behind, but you've got to be a brave person, in brackets, idiot probably, to have a dive into Sunset Bend.
We've seen it before though, haven't we?
We have, yes.
Obviously the BMW will be getting a significant enlargement in a few weeks' time when the new Beamer arrives.
It's his big brother that's going to come and beat all the other cars up. Except it's not going to be in this class, of course. Yeah,
it's a GTE, GT3, and
Van Genexten then.
Yeah.
Interesting to see his steering wheel inputs. Fairly smooth. To be honest, as smooth as you can be around this circuit, because it really does sort of knock you about quite a bit when your hands are on the wheel, and it's really just sort of the force feedback just rattling away.
Obviously, we don't have, both of us don't have direct drive wheels or anything, but it must be brutal to race around this circuit for 12 hours. Marco was saying when we came on earlier that this is 10 times as hard as the Daytona 24 hours, and it's half the race distance.
So I believe I have driven this track with a direct drive wheel, but it was only it might have been for 12 minutes, not 12 hours, and yeah, I bet it's just ridiculous. Dear me. But I do enjoy endurance racing. It's something I'd like to do a bit more of, but I'll be honest with you, this race has never really tickled my fancy because I know how difficult this circuit is. It's a bit like the Bathurst 12 hours. I think I know my my talent limit. As Ian Roots and Chris Moretta have gone off, I wonder if that's a joint effort from them in 11th and 12th places.
They were off the circuit for about 7/10 of a second, and we were back on it again. Here is Macaulay versus Van Genexten, though. This is a battle that we hope will be able to continue right up to the pit stops and beyond that, as we approach the 10-minute mark in this hour-long race around the Sebring International Raceway.
Because you can get, and the reason why I had the little joke about, you know, you're a bit stupid if you try to move into Sunset Bend. If you're not alongside, at least anyway, because it's such a fast entry, the car in front doesn't really brake too much in the initial part. You sort of do your braking throughout the corner. Think of almost a little bit like, say, turns 1 and 2 in Shanghai, where you start off with an extremely fast entry, and you gradually reduce the speed.
Quite a lot of corners like this as well coming up. The hairpin here, for example, which are really stop-start, and really got to be careful about how you put power down on the exit too, as the front three go through the field. It's in terms of silvers, it's Macaulay, then Hopley in 6th, then Kobe Klaas, and then Arturo Alvarez in 10th position. Bram van Alphen, as he has for the majority of this season, in fact probably all of the season so far, he is leading the way in the bronze category. He's got a few positions in hand over the next car, which is Pedro Braganza in the Spirit Sim Racing.
Yeah, Van Alphen had a bit more of a difficult run course last time out, where he was beaten by Stuart Musselwhite, who took that one. And you know, Van Alphen, I think that the fact that he's been so good throughout the entire season is kind of given the bronze class a little bit more impetus in trying to beat him, really, because it seems like that class is improving all the time.
Jochen Lennertz has crashed on this lap. Roy
Viveka's off the track as well. Ben Mears was off. In fact, there was about 4 or 5 of them off the track. Yeah, there were about 4 or 5 of them off the track on the last lap. Luke Tice, Matthias de Tige, Ben Mears, Roy Viveka, they were all off the track at some point or other. This is Ronald Moons looking back at Sebastian Heberet, the German, I believe, inside. Moon's trying the long way around in the Sim Auto Mercedes. Team that, of course, I drove for it in the summer of 2018 for races. And up the inside goes. Oh, that's a great cutback by Peter Growles on John McConville.
Well, he's having to fight his way back through the field, isn't he, after his not misdemeanors, I was going to say his expedition on the opening lap of the race. It's an expedition that's resulted in him dropping down the order. He's lost 13 places, but he's slowly getting them back. But his teammate in the Atomic Motorsport car, Van Genexten, is not letting Danny Macaulay have a minute piece here. We're approaching a quarter of an hour here at Sebring, and still Macaulay is keeping the Mercedes at bay, but it is a good display so far from Macaulay. Van Genexten has obviously done a great job so far this season. He's won all but one of the races, with Macaulay getting the other. So the BMW down the straights like this is really going to be at a disadvantage, but Van Genexten not able to get the move done as of yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear him lifting there too, sorry.
Well, he probably just doesn't want to be right with him going into Sunset, because it's a tough corner anyway without having a car right in your face. But you do wonder if he was right with him, could he go for it into turn 1? Turn 1's also a tough place to make an overtake. We've seen it done a couple of times successfully so far today, but you always feel like you're risking it a little. There's the gap, pretty non-existent. The highest it's been was just under 0.5 of a second.
To also see, going through the first corner, how different the lines were between between the two of them. That's this one thing that this track does provide, like corners like Sunset and Turn 1. You can take different lines. So here, Van Genekten.
And Tower as well is another one that you can sort of
definitely, yeah,
have your own interpretation. Really, what suits your car better is really the thing around here.
Looking here at Andrew Hopley, who is still in this free car train with Ranks and Garcia, and up the inside goes the Sim Racers World Car. There, Ranks, who's doing quite well in the standings. Garcia doesn't make the best of lines through there. Could be under pressure going into Tower.
P2 overall for Ranks, 2 second places, rounds 2 and 3 of the season. It's fallen off a tiny bit, but you know he's still finished. Well, he's had 2 4th places the last 2 rounds, which isn't it's actually very good when you think about it. Very consistent. If you can finish in the top 5 once more today, then I think he'll think that's a job well done.
Yeah, he's doing a reasonable job so far. Obviously, all these guys have been able to gain positions as a result of the dropping of Bob Boland down the order a little bit, down to 7th place. Now is the CMR Esports car as this trio go into Sunset Bend here. Inside there, he's nibbling away at the back of that Mercedes is Gregory Ranks. But here come the leaders again. Going to be go time, is it this time for Van Genekten? No, it isn't. You can also see the gold windscreen strip as well, indicating what class he's in, as Corley uses all of the track and then some going through the first corner.
The only thing I can think of is he's saving fuel and just going as long as he, trying to go as long as he can. And sort of using Macaulay as a little bit of a shield almost. Like a cyclist hides in the peloton to shield from the wind. And it just
Welcome back to BSR Radical Thursday, final round of the season, race 2 for the evening. Lee Thompson here, bringing you the broadcast along with Alex Simpson. Just cutting away from watching the Sim Racers World race, currently live on our YouTube channel as well. And we'll probably see a little bit more of that later on. So, warm-up is coming towards an end for the start of race 2, so it won't be very long, and we will find out how the guys managed to cope with the well, I'll describe it as a full reverse grid, but seven cars that are going to be reversed for race 2. It's just going to be patience required, I think, Alex, isn't it? Especially for the guys in the championship hunt. I think it's all closing up now with Foggy having taken that race win, so they just need to make sure they score the points again for race 2.
That's all Foggy can do. He needs to try and get out there today, get 3 wins, and see what happens to Fitzpatrick. See if he slips up or something like that. In the last one, didn't. What a great result from him. Nice top 5. It keeps the pressure on Foggy. He has to make sure, like I say, nothing short of a win will do.
Right, so guys are on the grid. Lights are getting ready to go. Luke Cooper on pole with Jamie Mayers lining up alongside him. Sam Fitzpatrick just behind them in 3rd. Teammates 1st and 3rd. Off they go. Looks like a pretty good start from Cooper. Maybe a better start from Fitzpatrick. He might have a sniff for 2nd into turn 1. Can he get it slowed down? He can. Takes the corner pretty nicely. So Sam Fitzpatrick straight up into 2nd. Nicole Foggy and Richard William gained a place as well.
Who is it?
Brandon in the wall.
I thought for a minute it might have been Foggy. I couldn't quite tell. But yeah, Brandon dropped off our timing screen. Massive hit. That's race done for him. But not
He's
the
looking
start.
busy at the front. As Paul Crabb straight back up into 3rd on Jamie Mayers. So Mayers getting shuffled back. Foggy is that. Foggy in the wall. Nicole Foggy, race 1 winner in the wall. 2nd corner. Just got a little bit caught between Mayers and Halliburton, I think, as they went through, and spins it around.
It's not over for Foggy by any means. Depends on damage. It wasn't a massive hit. It depends whether or not it will square on or whether he's got suspension damage. We'll go and check that out in a moment. But let's stay with the first lap for the moment.
Yeah, so what a start from XVR. Johnny Brandon in pit lane, Nicole Foggy last of the runners for XVR. Luke Cooper still out in front, teammate Sam Fitzpatrick behind. Surely Cooper is going to allow championship challenger Sam Fitzpatrick through at the earliest opportunity, you would think. Paul Crabb then in third position, Jamie Mayers in fourth, lost 2 spots from the start. Kane Halliburton's only moved up, well, he hasn't moved up, he's still in his good spot of 5th position, surviving the accident there with Foggy, and seeing Webster move on Halliburton as well as they come down Conrad Straight, and Webster just drives straight past him before they even get to the next corner. So Halliburton down into 6th position now, and coming under pressure from Richard Warmingham, who's looking to go up the inside now. And how is he going to fare through the chase? Okay, Halliburton's got damage.
Yeah, he must have something that we can't call. Oh well, he has now. That's for sure. Right. I didn't see it. The car looked fine, but something was certainly affecting him there. And Fitzpatrick has got through. You are right. He did let him. I think Cooper did let him go down and in towards the chase. But yeah, now it's up to Fitzpatrick just to try and drive away from his teammate, see if he can hold up Paul Crabb. Crabb was very, very quick in the last race. So I think it's going to be a tall order for Fitzpatrick still to hold on to this one. 18 minutes of the race still to go. But yeah, he's got his teammate trying to help him out here, which is a perfect scenario for him.
Yeah, absolutely prime position to get the strongest result he can manage. Looking close further back as well. Webster, Warmingham, Hefford, 5th, 6th, 7th, all looking pretty tight. Kip Stevens isn't then much further back, just a second or so back from there. But pretty much the top, well, all the runners minus Foggy are pretty much all in a single line.
This is what happens.
Replay to start.
Foggy then.
Yeah. Just Mayers on the outside there, just so much slower through the corner, having missed the apex, and just backed Halliburton all the way up into Foggy and just left him with nowhere to go. Foggy tried to get out of it, I think, as much as he could.
Yeah, and I think Foggy does have an issue. Looking at sector times, Foggy is very, very quick in the infield section, but he's mighty slow on the straights. So, unfortunately, I think while the damage isn't affecting the way the car's turning, it is affecting straight line performance, and I think it's going to be enough. He's managed to catch the pack up by a couple of seconds. There is a battle going on. This is Paul Crabb and Luke Cooper, but it is going to affect Foggy, I think, for this race. We can't see him fighting through.
Cooper trying to hang on in there. He's going to have the outside now for the chase, but ultimately there's not much he can do. Behind, no contact, I think, between Webster and Mayers. Yeah, Mayers losing positions. So Mayers got hard hit there from Webster, but it looked pretty evenly side on, so he might get away with minimal damage. Kip Stevens now going up the side of Mayers as well into the final corner.
See it back as well.
Webster, late move. Ooh, and just taking that a little bit too much curve, and then it's going to be a slowdown penalty, I think, for Mayers there, probably, isn't it?
I think so.
After getting pushed off circuit. So
it's the McIntyre curve that he hit, wasn't it? Really, I think there for Webster. Add a little bit of that, and car just sort of bounced wide, and poor Mayers was the innocent victim there.
Yeah, I think so. It looked optimistic, but not outrageous from Webster to make the move. It was just a very late change of position. So Sam Fitzpatrick then only 0.6 ahead of Paul Crabb. So having got past Luke Cooper last time by, as we saw, Luke Cooper then in third, a couple of attempts ahead down Webster, who we saw making that move a moment ago in fourth. Richard Warmingham in fifth, Steve Hefford sixth, Kip Stevens seventh, Jimmy Mayers 8th, Paul Denton 9th, James McRitchie 10th, Nicole Foggy 11th. What was his lap time last time by? Nicole Foggy, Alex, was quickest car of everyone last time by a whole second.
Yes, very quick.
Actually, very even, sorry, Alex, through the whole field. Look at the lap times on last time. 101.6, 101.8, 2.6, okay, 2.1, 1.7, 1.7, 1.6, 4, okay, 1.7, 1.7. Like almost identical lap times for more than half the field.
Yeah.
Oh, contact in the back. Cooper, big accident, Alex. Cooper, Webster, who else? Warming. Oh, everyone, big pile up coming onto the main straight. All sparked between Cooper and Webster. And yeah, Warming them out, Webster out, Cooper with huge damage. Here we go.
Initial contact in the wall, that's what it was for Cooper. And then people just got into him.
Cooper did the right thing, hit the brakes once the spin was completed. It's not like he rolled forward or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate for the guys there. Like I say, just a bit of an accordion effect through that last corner as everyone's desperate to try and get the best run they can on, off the most important corner, arguably, on the circuit. And here's Crab now already right onto the back of Sam Fitzpatrick as they come into turn 1. Fitzpatrick might be struggling a little bit into turn 2. Let's see how Crab goes with possibly some damage at the rear. But again, maybe I'll stop mentioning
159.8 there. But of course, it is worth mentioning that he had the slipstream this time. And looking at his sector 5 is much, much quicker when he's in the draft. So yeah, made a big difference. But let's say up to 5th.
There goes Paul Crab. Yeah, Paul Crab round the outside turn 2. That's what Halliburton tried to do in race 1, but Crab was just that little bit further ahead to then be able to cut over the nose of Fitzpatrick into that corner. So Fitzpatrick now just needs to try and keep his head down, not do anything crazy, and just try and follow Crab's rhythm a little bit and secure that second position. He's got a nice buffer now, 3 and a bit seconds over Steve Hefford. It is in 3rd, taking that final podium spot. Denton 4th, and then as you say, Nicole Foggy like a rocket coming through in 5th. So he's going to be getting Denton once they come off the mountain, you would think, and then Hefford's just that second or so further down the road.
Willie though, with the straight line speed disadvantage that he's got, that's always the problem. It's not the easiest track to get by people actually in the corners.
Yeah,
he made up a lot of spaces in the last lap because of the accident more than anything. So
I mean, looking at his sector times now, it's maybe evened out a little bit on top speed, but this we'll be able to see now is he's following Denton. Slipstream just about pulling him through still. But maybe it's a bit hard work. Yeah, as soon as he moves out, it's just nothing else is there. So yeah, he's got reduced top speed, but maybe not as bad as it could be. Is he going to go for the late around the outside? He is. Denton, not really much he could do about it. I think he didn't put up much of a fight, but even so, Foggy around the outside into the chase, crack a move, and straight away on the back of Hefford.
Yeah, he needs to. He just needs to be in that draft all the time. So yeah, once he gets in clear air here, if he gets by Hefford, which, to say, I think he's going to go for a move almost straight away. Hefford showing, like you say, a little bit of damage as well. Doesn't, waits this time. Got straight. Would make sense. And then he's got what, 4 seconds or so to catch up to the Crab and Fitzpatrick battle.
Well, that's what's crazy. 4 seconds. So obviously Fitzpatrick and Crab weren't caught up in the instant we saw a couple of laps ago. Nicole Foggy was at the very back of the field after the start of the race, and he's only 4 seconds back from the leaders. So Hefford squeezes him on corner entry, might run into the wall, keeps it out of it. I think he does. Foggy gets that position, but yeah, Hefford didn't make that easy for him. Really tried to put the squeeze on eventually. Yeah,
Hefford's a good driver. Like I said, he's left just enough room. He doesn't want to give up these places easy. He might not be completely at one with this this Radical compared to what he's like in the MX-5, but great attempt of defence there, but Foggy just too good, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see now how quickly he can pull onto the back of Fitzpatrick. I think it will be pretty swift. We're coming up to halfway through the race, and top 3 now are going to be breaking away a little bit from the rest of the pack. Fitzpatrick has done a good job in this last lap and a half of staying with Crab. He's not dropped too far off.
He actually got past. You saw at the start of that lap, he was back ahead. So, and then Crab got him once again going into sort of turn 2. So, yeah, like you say, doing a good job, and this is what he needs to do. He just needs to stay in contention, so that he can use the massive straightaway section and the slipstream to close back up, and I think that's going to make it very tough for Foggy. Let's have a look, see what the lap times are. Of course, Foggy would have lost a little bit of time in sector 2 because of that little squeeze move.
But we could see coming off the chase there that Hefford was only 6 tenths back or so. So, like I say, Foggy certainly didn't just drive away through the second half of the lap there.
So we've got Paul Crab comes across, and the lap time is a 2:09. Sam Fitzpatrick showing there's a 2:01.9, so 1 second. That surprises me that there's 1 second between them. And Foggy with a 2:06. So yeah, 3 tenths quicker than Paul Crab. So if Fitzpatrick can just stay with Crab now, it's only 3 tenths of a second a lap. That's it's not enough.
Denton Hefford change of position. So Paul Denton just moved up into 4th, nipping ahead of Hefford before turn 2 there, and Kit Stevens right in the mix as Hefford tries to come back. And we'll see where Denton gets a move done up the inside.
Yeah, Hefford not really defending it at all. I'll give Foggy a hard time and just lets on Denton through.
So yeah, so good move nonetheless from Denton, even though, as you say, Hefford did not really put up much of a fight. But that looks like an interesting battle that's going to continue on for 4th, 5th and 6th. Again, like the previous race, Luke Cooper still trying to limp around in 7th position with that severely damaged car. So good luck to him bringing that to the end. Back at the front, Crab and Fitzpatrick coming on to Conrad Straight. Conrad Straight, sorry, not Conrad Straight. And yeah, Fitzpatrick's still right there. Foggy
we had a colleague called Conrad, didn't we? And it was always brought up, actually. I remember when he was in the booth. So once again, just using that draft.
Yeah, see the slipstream taking effect from the blimp cam. And yeah, coming up to the chase, as I said, Fitzpatrick's got rid of all of that gap. Foggy lost half a second, maybe almost, coming down that straight there. So it's going to be tough for Foggy to continue out driving those guys through the corners, but he's the guy to do it if anybody can.
This is one of the circuits that they spent the most amount of time getting the detail on the infield on. Absolutely bang on, wasn't it, when they built? I remember them making a production video about it and stuff like that. And actually, you can see, because
looks like a real circuit now, doesn't it?
Yeah, we shy away from the blimp cam. We don't ever really bring it up, just because, there's massive holes in the tree section at Spa and Monza and places like that. But this is the one that they've really gone to town with, and the detail, and you don't mind coming up into the blimp and giving us a good look around. I mean, like you say, it looks like a real racetrack. Some of the buildings and the cars and whatnot are a bit generic, but actually, man, it looks bloody good.
And even from the blimp here, you're really getting a sense of them actually coming up the mountain there into the hills. So yeah, quite an effect even with the distance away. Hefford got back ahead of Denton whilst we were up in the blimp. So Hefford back to 4th, Denton 5th, Kit Stevens still just keeping a close eye on things in 6th position as well.
I wonder, a good question to ask you as well as a VR user. What is this place like in VR? I mean, can you? The one thing I noticed when I tried it for a very short second is the elevation change on the circuit seemed much more pronounced. You really felt like you were going up hills. I never really ever had a chance to have a blast round here when I had it, because I only had it for a short time. What's your opinion on that? Because the immersion obviously on that is amazing, but the elevation change, things like that, is it much more in your face?
Absolutely. It's, as you say, really, it's a prime example of a circuit like this is a prime example of the difference that you can feel between a VR experience and even a triple screen experience, where you're working your way up the hill and up the mountain and feeling the crests and the dips on the screens, but in VR you really do have that presence. And some people are even going to feel it in your stomach a little bit as you go over a crest and things like that. So for sure you can feel that you're going up the hill, and also with the walls right next to you in the mountain the whole way up as well, you really feel in that little narrow chute of the circuit working your way up. And for sure it's a great one to do. That corner we were talking about earlier on, the dipper, in VR, again, you really get the sense of the car just completely dropping away from you as you of course you point the car into the inside barrier, knowing that the car's going to lose grip as it drops away and you're not going to hit the barrier. And in VR, it's quite effective. I haven't actually driven around here this week, but yeah, for sure, races that I've done around here before in VR are great fun.
I have to say, my experience with VR was very, very short. I did get it very quickly when the consumer version came out. For me, like I say, I just struggled a little bit still with the quality there. I really appreciated the finer detail and the quality. So I'm definitely going to give it another blast when the next version comes out. Hopefully, we just improve, because for the short time I really did appreciate being in the car. But yeah, like I say, just me eye candy. I need that as well.
Yeah, I think the current batch, as you say, are right on that cusp between at the top level, not talking about maybe more casual sort of sim racers, as to whether it has enough fidelity for you to really use at a competitive level. And certainly when it first came out, we saw a few WCS. I mean, I used it in a WCS, but I wouldn't wouldn't describe myself as a WCS driver, but certainly some of the guys at the top of the WCS did use it. Ollie Picala, I know, was one. I don't know, I've been a little bit more out of touch with the WCS over the last year or two. Do you know if people are still trying to use VR on it?
I think Dave Williams used it, but sadly he actually did a post saying, I'm switching back to triples, you know? Yeah, which was a bit unfortunate for it. Not the sort of best of news. Another purple lap there for Foggy while we were seeing these three get ever closer. But yeah, so I think you're right. Like you say, I think it's super close to being absolutely bang on. But yeah, it just needs that finer. Like you say, a bit more exactly.
Here comes Denton then trying to get back past Hefford into turn 2. They seem to just be repeating the manoeuvre on each other, I think, each lap by. But they've got plenty of practice of it, so it is yet clean again. But still Kip Stevens lurking very closely in the background. Oh yeah, just about to say, up the front, all of a sudden, Paul Crabb, I think, must have had an issue. Fitzpatrick was a second back when I glanced last. Now he's a tenth and a half, 2 tenths, and Foggy is right there as well. Oh, Crabb almost into the wall, I thought, on the entry to the corner there, but survives. It's going to be interesting once I come out the mountain onto Conrod Straight.
Of course, you don't need to for Fitzpatrick. Doesn't matter really, does it? If Foggy gets by, one place is just not going to matter. A podium here pretty much cements, I would think, his championship. I can't think that there's going to be enough points left for Foggy to catch up. Oh, someone brushing the wall. I think that was actually Foggy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, Foggy. How much of the draft is he going to be able to keep coming down here? Of course, Fitzpatrick's got the draft off Crabb, so Foggy's gaining a little bit, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough. How strong a move is he going to make? In fact, Fitzpatrick all over the back of Crabb all of a sudden. Fitzpatrick going to go up the inside into the chase. Can he get it stopped? Foggy's going to try and follow him through. He's almost doing it. Crabb's got the inside now for the second part, but Foggy tries to drive off, but just takes that outside curb. Almost free wide coming into the final corner. Fitzpatrick on the inside, Crabb on the outside, then Foggy just behind. Foggy still trying to keep his nose in. Great traction off the corner. Foggy just leaves Crabb for dead off the corner. Fitzpatrick, then Foggy, then Crabb. Have a breath.
What a great little section. There's me thinking, yeah, Sam will just give us up and follow in and take the podium. Yep. But nope, sends it on the end.
I'll show you, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Just listening to that. Foggy desperate to hold on to this. Here comes Crabb, though, of course, with the no damage front end. Yeah,
Crabb going to try and go around the outside of Fitzpatrick. He's doing the Halliburton move, which didn't work well for Halliburton. And again, like you say, the camber on the inside, you just can't do it. Crabb drops back to third, but I guess it was he didn't really have much to lose though. If it pulled off, he got first. If he didn't pull off, he was still in third, as he was on the straight anyway. Yeah,
exactly. But if he can hold on to it through this lap, he will. He's got the potential to a win. He needs to obviously a great exit onto the back straight, of course.
Yeah, final lap that we're on, of course, as time is ticking away, lap 10. As I say, Foggy's going to follow through the down section of the mountain now, and we'll just see what kind of run these guys can get out of that, well, essentially the final corner, Forest Sailboat onto Conrod Straight.
We've already seen Foggy do it once with the move. He had to do it on the brakes. Fitzpatrick will be just focused on getting a good exit. That he did. He's got himself about 0.3 of a second. So Foggy with his damaged car, he's got to really, really hope that he can get a run. That time is coming down, but I don't know if it's going to be quick enough. Where's Fitzpatrick going to place his car? Going to have the inside for the chase.
Yeah, he sure is. So here's Foggy then. Again, that slight damage has cost him any more top low speed. Fitzpatrick's trying to hang on in there. Brakes a little bit earlier than Foggy. Can he keep it in? He can. Oh, a little bit of contact, a little bit of wiggling. Is Crabb going to get by Fitzpatrick as well? Fitzpatrick's going to have the inside. He's getting boxed in a little bit. Oh, he tries to move out, but I thought Crabb was still there. Foggy's got the inside. Fitzpatrick. Oh, he runs wide. Is he going to drop to third? Oh, no. Crabb spins in the background. Foggy takes a cracking win from the back of the grid after lap 1. Pulls it all the way through the carnage halfway through the race. Somehow takes a win. Fitzpatrick, valiant effort. He did not just play the percentages like he's been talking about he's done this season. He went for the race win and came awfully close. Paul Crabb in a strong third position. Gave it all he had at the end there, but it wasn't quite enough.
What a fantastic little exhibition we just got there. That is some brilliant racing there from all three drivers as well. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm glad they I'm glad they decided to go
give
like
it a good
that.
go.
So, but Sam with P2 Foggy. Like I say, I'm pretty much sure that's locked Sam in now. Hence why we've got some donuts going on in the background. I don't think there'll be enough points now to catch up. But yeah, great effort from Foggy. Like you said, coming from the back. I called earlier on and said, look, it's not over for him. But I almost
Did you expect that though?
Well, no, not once we saw the damage. That was the thing. Like, we saw the damage, and I was kind of like, well, actually, look, I'm not sure he can. I mean, I did say this is going to be a much harder job for him now. And, he got there as well. So great driving and just phenomenal on the outside of the chase. He just got that braking zone just absolutely spot on. We saw 2 moves. It was a lot harder the second time around on Fitzpatrick, but, he nailed it just the same.
So, what a race from just the 6 finishes that we had. What a show those guys managed to put on. We were very, very fortunate that, we didn't just have 6 cars going around this 2-minute 10 circuit, or 2-minute circuit rather, all on their own. So Nicole Foggy takes a win from the back of grid to win by 3 and a bit tenths of a second. Valiantly attempted to be fought off by Sam Fitzpatrick finishing in second. Paul Crabb, I thought he was going to get the run out of that final corner. And I think he thought he was going to as well, and really gave that traction zone maximum attack, and still didn't lose anything from it. As we said, it was a bit like earlier in the lap where he went for the lead, dropped back to third, but that's where he was anyway, so it was worth a try. Steve Hefford then came out on top in the second great battle that we saw all the way through the race between Hefford, Denton and Stevens. So Hefford did finish in 4th, Paul Stevens in 5th, Kip Stevens finishing up in 6th. And then that was it. Luke Cooper did not manage to bring the car home in the end, finished 3 laps down. McRitchie then 8th, Jamie Mayers 9th, Dan Webster 10th, Richard Warmingham 11th, Kane Halliburton 12th, and Johnny Brandon 13th. So this time, I said, was that first race, Alex? Was that the smallest reverse grid we've had? Well, that was 7, I believe. So now we've gone one better, and we've only got 6 cars eligible for the reverse grid.
And like I say, so we could effectively here get the -5. It should be very interesting.
Nicole Foggy.
Exactly. So, yeah, let's see what we get. Come on, I think we need something like that just for the lols, I think. All right, let's bring this wheel up. Give it a spin. Of course, it'll have to be a pretty reasonable spin for that -5 to come back in play as we're right next to it. Oh, that's going to be short. Way short, unfortunately. Well, it doesn't matter where it finishes now. It's 17th, but so that's going to effectively be a full reverse. So 6th.
Yeah, so interesting stuff. And Kip Stevens going to take pole position for the final race of the evening and of the season. Paul Denton will line up alongside him in second. So again, this is going to be interesting. First, the top 6 positions for race 2 are going to be taken up by those 2 trios that spent pretty much the whole race battling away. So that could be very entertaining to see. So again, we're going to have a little break whilst the race 3 session gets set up. Again, good opportunity if you're enjoying our work to go and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and we shall see you all in just a little while.
Reaction that they get when they see 2 people taking each other out in that you sort of you shouldn't celebrate, but you can't help it.
Oh yeah.
It's Johnny Herbert, I think, who said that actually.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think I was watching that day of live testing. I think
that's it.
Or the review show or whatever it was.
Yep. Bram Van Alphen.
Yes,
has made an appearance on the broadcast.
He's just come out of the pit. In his privateer entry, a lie, has he? Actually, yeah, he has. 12 seconds.
Yep. I saw him come out of the pits. He's definitely been in.
Can't look at 2 things. I don't
think he was driving around those corners for fun, as he is from Garcia and Franks. Once more, having a bit of a ding dong battle. Garcia's very wide in the middle. It's going to be an even run, really, though, because he's got actually the momentum. Look, that's a bit of an egregious start line, isn't it? It's about 5 yards long. It's not a start finish. He's going for it. He's going for up the inside, Garcia.
I wonder where it actually starts, don't you?
Oh, we nearly lost it.
Andrew Hopley's come into the pits. He wasn't too far away from those guys earlier on, but he is
well, it's
now.
not even the yard of bricks. It's like 5 yards of painted checkerboard on the floor.
It's almost like Paul Ricard back in the day in the 80s. In the 80s, I think there's something like that there.
I think I've seen that actually. Yeah.
It's all fresh in my memory because I've been watching those reviews back. But up to 92 now, by the way.
Good year. Well, that's a good one. That.
Yeah.
91 was one of my favourites, actually. It was a good season.
That was a good one. Yeah, I watched that the other day.
Now, Gregory Vranks. He has got past, at last, Javier Garcia after taking... So he must have been sitting looking at the rear of the Mercedes for about 10 laps, maybe more. And now he's through. And he's got 5.8 seconds to Ruben van Boel that he needs to try and make up. By the way, Van Genekten's back in the 59s again. No one else is.
Everybody's just dropped into the 2 minutes, haven't they? Yeah, they have really, haven't they? So
201s. Most of the top 10 look 201s. Well, and Van Genekten's 59s. Whichever tyres he's got, I want them. Because I mean, he must be treating them very, very nicely for them to be giving him this much grip this late on in the race. I'll put my teeth back. Here comes Macaulay.
Macaulay, yeah. Just see if I can for you as into the pits comes everybody else. That's Franks and Garcia. So down the pit lane they go. It is. Blimey now, 39 degrees track temperature. Tyres are getting smouldered out there.
Well, that's the thing. It can, but it can make that subtle difference. 59.9 still for Van Genekten.
It's only 23 degrees ambient temperature out there. That's some of the temperatures we've had here in the UK this week.
Oh, what ridiculous weather that is! It might as well be Florida.
Warmer than IB for I am told this week.
Well, it was the hottest in Wales, I think, had the hottest temperature ever recorded in February.
Yes, in the 20s.
20 plus degrees, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Still in February that we're having those temperatures, and then it was cold today.
Yeah.
So just to balance it all out as normal, here. That's one thing with Florida though is I doubt there's such massive swings in temperature. I bet it's pretty mild all year round. Well, when it gets to the coldest part, I bet it's quite mild. Now,
a few people have been in, haven't they? Growls.
There's a lot of people in. It's only Van Genekten, Ruben van Boel, and Arturo Alvarez, and Steve Clays.
Yeah.
Yet to make a pit stop. Stephen DeWolf hasn't made a pit stop either, but he's had all sorts of issues in this one. Van Genekten then is taking the tight line in Sunset, so I wonder if that means he's going to come and get the service. He is.
Somebody in front.
Oh, I think that looks worse than it was.
Yeah, that is. I was about to say it's Stein Van Buren, isn't it? I think that might be John. Oh, it's not John McConville, is it? That might be. God knows. Into the pits comes Ruben Van Buren. Is Arturo Alvarez going to join them in the pits here? Nobody has lost too many positions dramatically here. Bram van Alphen is still your bronze leader. Second, top silver looks still to be Daniel Macaulay once Alfonso Alvarez comes into the pits. There is Macaulay. He's only a few seconds away from Alvarez, so he's almost certainly going to get by. Is he going to trouble Van Genekten though? Van Genekten's away from his pit box. It was a 10.8 second stop, and he's already back out on the circuit. So.
He was nearly a second a lap quicker than Macaulay the last sort of 2 or 3 laps. Macaulay and Van Boel had those laps where they were 2 or 3 tenths slower, and then they went back to 1 second slower. And one of the fastest pit stops of the day, in fact, the second fastest pit stop of the day by Van Genekten, 10.8 seconds. In fact, Alvarez has just put a 10.02 in. That's the second fastest time, then the new second fastest time. Fastest time belongs to Roy Viveka on 9.48 seconds. Wow.
Obviously, he's not too concerned about the fuel towards the end of this one anyway. Good though that this battle between Franks and Garcia has remained after this round of stops. These two are the closest drivers on the circuit. Everybody else is about at least a second and a bit between each other. We did say at the beginning of the show that Sebring is going to be one of the tough places to overtake. Just looking at the calendar for next week, which is the Nürburgring, we could see a bit more around there.
It's going to be good.
Well. Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a track, that. Hell of a race. This one's been good as well. Not as close at the front during the last sort of 20 minutes or so, but certainly for the first half it was exciting. The main battles, the main excitement's to be had in the lower half of the top 10. This Garcia Franks. In fact, Garcia has got back ahead of Franks, which I'm sure pleases him no end.
And this is a good battle too. This isn't it? This is Arturo Alvarez versus Matthias Dettige in the closing 10 minutes here at Sebring. Sim Racers World versus VRO, and we've also got another Sim Racers World car not too far. Well, I say another Sim Racers World car. It's 8 seconds down the road in Ian Root. So going to be BMW versus Merc here for a potential 9th spot here between a silver and a gold car.
Just kept it clean, those guys, haven't they, really? And it's gone along their merry way, gone about their business. Want to see what sort of lap times. McCall is in the mid 2 minutes with the extra fuel now in. Really, those laps that we saw, about 5 laps before everybody came in, they were almost certainly going to stay the fastest laps of the race, because it's when the car's going to be light and the tyres are still going to be in decent condition. Here is Dettige, Adam, and he's really pushing on Alvarez here, who doesn't defend the inside. He tries to defend, but it's too late. Dettige let on the brakes, and he spots that one beautifully, and he goes through into 9th place.
That was his way out the hairpin as well. Good move by Sim Racers World driver number 37.
Alvarez just wasn't. He just did not really react quickly enough, I'm afraid.
Saw one VRO car make a little bit of a mistake in order to allow him through. Are we going to see the same here with Garcia in the closing stages? The Mini Rossi has done a great job of keeping Franks at bay since he got back ahead of him a few moments ago. Is he going to be able to do so for the rest of the race? There's not going to be too many tours left of this race, because it's just about a 2-minute lap, and we've got 7.5 minutes to go. So many more laps for Franks to get it done if he wants to finish in that best of the rest 4th spot.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good return to form for Ruben van Boel if he can finish 3rd. You can actually see him just ahead of this battle. And that's probably what Gregory Franks can see as well. He can probably see him and think, well, maybe there's half a chance. But he thought he'd done the hard work getting past Garcia and just hasn't managed to keep it, sadly. Well, sadly for him anyway, not for Garcia. Extremely happy with that. Alvarez and Dettige continue to battle. How has Alvarez got back ahead of Dettige then?
That might be worth a replay.
Because
oh dear, what's
it took me a while to register.
Here's a replay then. This is before the fine. This is the penultimate corner. Oh, he's going to go wide, isn't he? And that's all it takes. That's all it took. And through goes Alvarez back into 9th.
I heard you say no dear. Did you say anything untoward there?
I thought I said I did just because I thought Roots disappeared. It said out on the timing screen.
Oh God!
So, but he has restored his place, and he's still in 11th too, which is pretty good, because he has been in the wars a little bit today. Ian Roots in the Sim Racers World Cup, so he's doing okay here. State of play once again with just over 5 minutes to go. It's top gold Van Genekten, top silver Danny McCauley, top bronze is Van Outven in the other privateer, and there he is as well.
Yet again, that car is spotless. Atomic Motorsport car, isn't it? Could be wrong on that. But he's doing a great job. He's doing a cracking job, as usual. Now, Franks versus Garcia, part 675.
He's somewhere. There he is.
Oh, he's trying the big long move around the outside again, but just slightly too wide. The grip just dries up when you get out there. The problem, you just can't get the car to rotate.
Started off well, but yeah, it's just when you get through the middle of the middle of that first corner and then towards the exit, first of all you run out of grip, and then you run out of road.
Well, that's it. As soon as you think, oh, we might get some momentum going, you've got to cut it back to hit that tiny little curb. And he has to do it all again, Gregory Franks. But we have to say, we can't take it away from Javier Garcia just how good a job he's done of staying ahead of clearly a faster driver today.
See if you can get it. See if you can try and set him up going into Tower here. It's such an important corner on the circuit. Very nearly clips to cover a lot of understeer then.
It's better through Tower.
Yeah, which is really important because, as you can see, it sets you away for this run down to the Le Mans complex and then could have further impacts for the rest of the lap here as we swing it in here. This was where it was Tej getting by Alvarez, wasn't it? Looks like Mercedes is struggling potentially with the tyres there a little bit. You can see how much steering lock he's having to put in.
Welcome back to the final round of the season for BSR Radical Thursday, race 3 of the evening. Lee Thompson, Alex Simpson here again to bring you this possibly climactic race. We were talking earlier on how Sam Fitzpatrick was... Oh, do you know what? I'm going to have to shut up because the lights are coming on already, Alex.
Jeez.
So they are getting way ahead of us.
What? I can't select any cars. So, what's going on?
Something weird is going on.
Yeah, something is going on. There's no one on track.
Okay. So, I think we've got a false start and perhaps another session is going to be going up at some point. So, I will start. Oh, everyone's disconnected. So, they've obviously been told there's a problem with a session. So, we will switch to a different session ourselves. I was just going to finish my thought, but we were saying that perhaps Sam Fitzpatrick was looking fairly solid for the championship with his second place that he managed last time. But actually, after speaking to Sam in between races, it's not necessarily all done and dusted. If he can just get a solid finish on a lead lap, he should be safe. But if he has a DNF and Nicole Foggy takes the win, then it could be a different matter. So yeah, we'll be back in just a minute or two with a new session, and we'll see how that final race pans out.
All of that exit runoff area swings it in here, and it's only about 3 tenths, and you can see that Garcia is now having to move across because Franks is just that little bit closer as we're coming around to start what will potentially be the final lap here. But I think
it will, yeah.
Yeah, it should be the final lap.
I think it will be. Franks tries the wider line to try and cut it back. Bit of a 50-50 one there, but you know, well, quite similar through there. Franks gets a great toe down the main straight though, and that's a much better line. That's a heck of a good line by Franks. The rear end of the Mercedes just twitching around slightly as he tries to force a move on Garcia, but Garcia very calmly places the car in the middle of the circuit, doesn't allow Franks to get any sort of opening whatsoever.
Not been the best of laps of Bram van Alphen. He's lost 3 places. He's dropped down to 18th place.
He's lost 10 seconds too.
Hopefully he hasn't run out of fuel or anything. Looks like it's stabilised itself now. Here's a replay. This is going into Tower Bend here. Goes off.
Oh,
and he hits the wall. And that
crash.
That green Mercedes that we were mentioning earlier as being immaculate has now got a bit of a bruise or a bit of a...
Oh, and it's crabbing appallingly as well, look.
Just got to get through one more lap, and the next bronze car is quite a way away, so... I say away. Yeah.
Is here Van Genekten, Adam, and he's going to take the checkered flag very shortly.
Here he is then. He's coming into the final corner. He was in second place for a while. He got by, blitzed a couple of laps, built the gap, came into the pits, emerged with a healthy lead in hand and has been extending it ever since. A week break. Normal service has been resumed. Here Van Genekten wins round 7 of the Sim Racers World GT Series here at Sebring. It may not be the overall win, but it's going to be a silver class win for Daniel Macaulay. Coming through the final corner now, and he's going to take the second position, completing the overall podium. Going to be Ruben van Buell, but what about this?
Oh!
Garcia that gets 4th. Frank will complete the top 5. Here is our bronze leader, though. He is just about going to make it home. You might lose a couple of positions here, because look, here come Peter Growls and Ben Mears. They're all over each other. There's only 0.2 of a second between them.
Yeah, he's not going to worry about that too much, though, because it's Pedro Braganza who he's really fighting with. He's quite some way down. He's very slow. He's Van Outven now.
Oh, there's a car
what's that?
Oh, what's going on here?
It's Ronald Moons. And he's not going again.
There's a car reversing across the track then for a second.
Is it fuel related? Is it?
Looks like it's hit something. You can hear the car. He's going to get going again, is he?
He just needs to go if he's going to go. But here's Van Outven then to take the win in bronze. He got away with that scare. And what sort of lap time did he do at the end? He did 2:05. So he couldn't have dealt with very many more laps of that. I must admit, if he'd have done that 4 or 5 laps earlier, he might have had a bit of a scare. Because overcomes Braganza right now to take second in silver.
I think we're about to find out what happened to Ronald here. Ronald Moons. I think. Oh no, okay. I could hear this. I could hear the apex like swooshing sound effects, and I thought we were about to see, or whipping sound, something like that. Yeah. So Ronald Moon's 23rd place overall in the end. Knows what happened there. I don't know if he'll be able to chat to us, but that concludes the race. Everybody has crossed the line, so I think we can go and get the results screen up.
Can indeed. And once again, here Van Genekten gets to the top of the podium. 6 out of 7 wins this season.
Oh, that's the gold, isn't it?
That's just the gold. That's just the gold class. I mean, we could do that we could do that. You know, I can hear the cogs just absolutely spinning round. Adam. No, what's going on here? Anyway, we've got Van Genekten, and we'll just do the classes at a time. Here, Van Genekten wins the class 22.7 seconds ahead of Ruben van Buell. Javier Garcia in 3rd, Gregory ranks 4th, Bob Boland in 5th, and Detige, and then Ian Roots, then Hebra, then Kleis, then Ema, Growls, Moons, Stein van Buell, and Chris Moretta. And into silver, Dan Macaulay wins by 15 seconds. Which was really tremendous stuff. 2nd overall, of course, for him. Andrew Hopley, 2nd. Cobra Class, 3rd. Arturo
Welcome back again to the final round of the season for BSR Radical Thursday Race 3. Sorry about the little stutter that we had a moment ago, but yeah, problem with the session it seems. This one looks all good to go. Warm up again is wrapping up shortly, and then we'll be ready to look at the starting grid for Race 3. And yeah, we'll see how this championship battle turns out. So it looks like it's just left between Nicole Foggy now and Sam Fitzpatrick. We're thinking Sam Fitzpatrick is still a little bit ahead, 50 points, 60 points, something like that. Yeah, if Foggy gets a good strong result and Sam Fitzpatrick maybe gets caught up in an instant, then it could flip things on its head. Sam Fitzpatrick just needs to basically get to the final lap and make sure he scores points, and then he should be safe, Alex.
Not always easier said than done here, that's for sure. One first lap melee or something like that, and you know, could end it. So I'd be gutted for him as well. So I'm not biased or anything. Sorry, Nicole, but of course, you know, we commentate with Sam a lot, so it'd be great to see him do that, and to see our first ever overall championship winner as well. So he will be back beating at the sharp end of other championships, especially in a few weeks' time with the BSR TC Thursdays when he's back in the Kia, of course. So.
Yeah, and he's had some stiff competition this season, you know. So Nicole Foggy, Kane Hurlibert, and Johnny Brandon. Yeah, some quick guys that we've been seeing out there this season. And you know, for a lot of the times, Fitzpatrick's been talking about how he's just been making sure he's getting the results and just bringing the points and not maybe worrying about ultimate finishes. But then we've seen him, you know, really put up a fight when he feels he's got the opportunity for a good result, and it's been paying off so far. So as you say, we've got one more race to find out if that really does pay off in the end. We've got 13 people in this session, so same as the last race. Nobody else has dropped down, so that is good. And fingers crossed, if we can get some nice little pairings going again, we'll have a cracking race. I think that's we were talking off air in the break. I think that's the best ever 6-car race that I've seen. I'd say.
Yeah, I think it was. Looking forward to a repeat of the same thing. Final race of the season. Of course, Marco joins us in the other channel as well. So thanks, Marco, for tuning in as well. They're just doing the interviews there. We did manage to see the close, of course, of that race as well. I thought we were going to have to nip you away with about 3 minutes to go, but with the issue with the session, you managed to get to see the finale of that as well. So congrats to the drivers over there. I think there's a couple of interviews going on or something at the moment, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a few viewers join us on here for the final race of the season.
Yeah, and so we're still just waiting for warm up to finish. Looks like they've just extended this session, maybe just with issues with the previous session, but I'm guessing we've got a minute or so left until we're going to start gridding up.
Yeah, only 10 got in, didn't they? I think that was why in the end they sort of advanced it, because people just didn't get in time. So yeah, they just they redid the session. So
people were caught out how efficient they were by getting the session up again so quickly. It's been pretty good timings today, getting them ready.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, we would have been well done before. Sort of, you know, it would have been almost 10 o'clock and we'd have been done and dusted. So, which has got to be a record.
So as I said, yeah, so last race of this season, and then in a few weeks it's going to be replaced by, of course, the BSR TC, the flagship series for the BSR British Sim Racers. Back in the Kia, I presume, is what we're expecting. I don't know if there's been any official news, but I'm presuming we're expecting it to be the regular car from the past few seasons. Of course, we're still waiting for that ever elusive TCR touring car to make an appearance on iRacing again. After being away for a few years, that was talked about before I even went away. So you never know; it may appear at some point. But I'm guessing we're expecting the Kia still.
Yeah. For the moment, I think it is the Kia. I think with it being a whole year-long championship, if there is a new car rolled in, they will roll it out and swap it over. I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion there. So maybe they'll add that into the rules that if there is a new car, they will switch over to it. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But yeah, gonna be an interesting championship, of course. Super close, super great racing. You've got to be in it to experience it, I think. You know, you either love it or hate it. I think that's the thing with BSR. TC. I did it, and honestly, I really thought I was going to hate it, but I absolutely loved it. I put my name down again this year to do it, so I'm going to be back on the grid, time permitting, unfortunately. So with the way that is, I've put myself down as a reserve, just because I'm a bit nervous on the timings at the minute. But yeah, I think they throw a new car at us as well. I'm going to be trying to make every single race I can.
Yeah, so we've seen some cracking racing in the Radicals here, cracking racing in the touring cars there as well. Of course, very different style of car, front-wheel drive, tin top, as opposed to very, very light and powerful rear-wheel drive sports car. But we get some crazy, crazy races going on here. If they can manage to get clean starts off a grid and we get some huge fields going on as we've seen in previous years, then we just see these huge packs of Kia touring cars thundering around all these circuits that we've been at this season here in the Radicals as well. And it's quite a sight to see. Normally, in previous seasons, we've had decent prize money and prizes as well. The almost year-long season that they run really generates the opportunity to dish out some sensible prizes for the guys putting the time in. Like I say, 36 weeks or so is quite a slog of a season to get through, Alex.
Yeah, it is. I think if you're enjoying it though, it just flies. Don't really know, or you don't really notice the fact that it's just a relentless season, to be fair. Yeah, I couldn't believe how quickly it flew by for me.
Right, so still just waiting for practice session. We see from the on-screen display that actually it was a 20-minute warm-up session, not 15 as perhaps I was hoping. So we've got just a moment left to go, and then we can finally get this race on the way. They're just trying to build the anticipation, I think, for this championship climax to the season as we go back up in the blimp watching Craig Williams, who hasn't been in the previous two races, actually. So hang on, so let's have a look at I haven't looked hard enough at the timing screen, apparently. We've got two new entries for the final race of the season. Craig Williams and Fraser Williamson joining us for the final race. They haven't been in race 1 and 2. So that'll be interesting to see how they slot in. Just from the practice times, both looking pretty on pace. Craig Williams currently with the third fastest time in warm-up. Fraser Williamson down in 7th. So it'll be interesting to see how things mix up. So who that must mean, if we've got 13 runners still, who are the two drivers we've lost from the previous two? Not seeing Martin Warmingham for this final session, and another driver as well. Yeah. So we'll just wait for the timer to tick, and it will be ready to move on. Hopefully that was a good Sim Racers World race that the guys were seeing on the second stream on our YouTube channel as well. That's been a great first season that we've been having on Apex Racing TV, just joining us for the first time at the end of 2018. So we'll be hopefully seeing them continue throughout the year on this Thursday night spot. Nice to see the different mix of cars that we got.
Yeah, it reminds me actually that Ian did send me some messages about another championship as well, so I need to kind of get them pasted into our discussion chat so we can have a look at that. Oh, I was going to be into the wall, I'm sure of it. Just as
perfect
saved by the bell.
Right, and so now that the guys are finally gridding up for race 3, we can confirm the starting grid from our reverse wheel at the end of race 2. Kip Stevens then, as we thought, is going to be taking that pole position. Paul Denton lining up alongside him in second. Steve Efford third. Paul Crabb, you'd say he's in a pretty strong position there, starting 4th, but then he's got the championship leaders right behind him. Sam Fitzpatrick in 5th, Nicole Foggy in 6th, Luke Cooper then 7th, James McRitchie 8th, Jamie Mayers 9th, Dan Webster 10th, Kane Halliburton starting all the way down in 11th. Tough night racing for Halliburton. Craig Williams then in 12th and Fraser Williamson in 13th. So Williams and Williamson taking the back row for their one appearance for the night. Let's see how they get on. Right, so lights are getting ready to come. Revs are building. Kip Stevens on the right as we look at it. That'll be the inside line for turn 1. Paul Denton on the left in the fluorescent colours. off they go. Good clean start from Kip Stevens. He's got a jump on Denton. Hefford closing in a little bit, not close enough. I can see Apex car on the inside into turn 1. That was Fitzpatrick. Oh, Hefford. Is he going to bounce back into the track? Everyone dives out the way. Spinner in the background. And the rest of them get by. Denton's going to get a move on Kip Stevens for race lead.
Yeah, you could see the emergency sweep swerve.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, that just needed to happen there for everybody when they saw that car. But actually, Hefford got it off the circuit. He must have Alt F4'd or something because it was gone. It was just, in a second. So, yeah, good for me.
Well, yeah, alert driving from Hefford there. Paul Crabb looking pretty racy, getting right on the gearbox of Kip Stevens. Nicole Foggy got the jump on Fitzpatrick off the start. So Fitzpatrick in 5th. Nicole Foggy's gained 2 positions into 4th. Right on the gearbox of Paul Crabb. So that's going to be looking like these two are keen to start moving forward straight away. Halliburton's had a great start, up 5 positions from his starting slot up into 6th. So actually, he could well manage to hang on to the coattails of Foggy and Crabb ahead. Right, so they come off the mountain then down onto Cornwall Straight. Paul Denton leading off, good drive off the final corner from the looks of it. Kane Halliburton back there, he's going to get a move done on Fitzpatrick pretty quick, I think. He's already alongside, out of the slipstream. And Kane Halliburton then straight up into 5th. Sam Fitzpatrick down to 6th. We know that Fitzpatrick doesn't need to do anything too drastic and just make sure he keeps running. Kip Stevens not quite enough of a draft on Denton, but Denton goes defensive. Paul Crabb round the outside of Kip Stevens. Foggy's going to try and follow as well. Crabb gets a move done. Foggy has to slot in behind. So Paul Crabb up to 2nd. Foggy still 4th. Stevens in front.
So Foggy has to win, doesn't he, just to have any chance? I think he doesn't have to win, does he? I think if Sam was to crash out, any kind of finish for him probably going to be enough as well with the amount of cars that we've got here. So, yeah. But I think for personal pride, if he can take 3 wins tonight at this circuit, won't win the championship if Sam finishes. But of course, we'll take the honours in terms of, one of the only drivers to win all 3 races in one night.
Paul Crabb putting the squeeze on Denton, giving him exactly a car's width space. Foggy going to try and go around the outside of Denton. Nobody else has made it work. Has he? Not quite, but he certainly didn't keep. You have to dive out of the wall. So Denton survives for now. Halliburton right up with Foggy. Fitzpatrick's lost a spot to Kip Stevens at some point in the last few seconds as well. Is Foggy going to get a move on Denton through this section? 2 cars through that corner. I wouldn't want to be either one of those. Foggy is going to run the outside now for these fast corners. Denton has to tuck in behind. Foggy, how did he get that move done into 2nd? Halliburton looking to do the same. Pushes straight past on Denton as well. 2 of the corners you wouldn't really expect to see cars go side by side. Foggy and Halliburton, 2 of the series' quickest drivers, both get some moves completed. Who was that? Not Fitzpatrick, as another Apex Racing Academy car, Luke Cooper. Hart jumps out of the throat for a second now. See the green and white flash spear into the wall. But Fitzpatrick survives. Luke Cooper, unfortunately, taking further damage in tonight's race.
Yeah, he's not had the best of nights, has he, in terms of picking up damage as Cooper. But Richie and Williams having a little battle. So Craig Williams coming through. He's up 5 spots, so would have had good pace all night as well had he been able to rock up to all of the races. Fraser Williams also coming through, up 4 places.
Yeah, we saw the Craig Setup Shop guys running strong, of course, at Sebring last week, but not had the opportunity here as Foggy gets right into the gearbox mid-corner of Paul Crabb. Just the difference in entry and apex speed there was pretty significant. Foggy fastest lap of the race on that time by, unsurprisingly, I guess. Paul Crabb going to be struggling, I think, to defend from Foggy now as they head up towards turn 2. Halliburton just lurking their 3rd position in the background, taking his position.
Yeah, got a nice, easy run out of that corner, and it's got the inside line, so he should be able to, I guess the move done even before the turn. And Crabb, just wide, and that's allowed Halliburton to get the run, surely straight through.
So, Nicole Foggy P1, Kane Halliburton P2, 9 spots gained for Halliburton, 5 spots gained for Nicole Foggy. Crabb, I think, is going to have to settle for 3rd at best now. I think those 2 are going to continue to drive away if they can keep it out the wall. We've seen Halliburton have a little bit of a tough evening so far. Paul Denton then still in that fourth. Lost 2 spots from his group position. Kip Stevens 5th, Sam Fitzpatrick 6th, Craig Williams gained 5 and 7th, Jason Ritchie 8th, Fraser Williamson 9th, Luke Cooper 10th, Jamie Mears 11th, Dan Webster 12th, and still the only retiree was unfortunately Steve Hefferdale off the first corner that month.
I think this is going to be a great battle actually for this one. We didn't quite come to anything, did it, in the first race? Get out of the way, trees. As Kane had that little hiccup, didn't he? So, but I think, I think it's on this time. Luke Cooper crashes out of the race. I feel, well, certainly a couple of hits. Slipstream kicking into high gear right towards the end of the straight, and a little lift actually, I think, for Kane. That definitely looked like he got out of it.
Yeah, decided he's not in any rush, didn't want to force a move there, it seems. But yeah, very even so far between those two.
Lots of traffic all going on right now, and suddenly Fitzpatrick feels swamped. And of course, yeah, this is critical time for him. Like we were talking to him off air, he doesn't mind being a little bit more racy in the final couple of laps, of course, because at that point he's guaranteed to score points. But here, he has to be very, very cautious. And right now, slipping backwards, down 3, and moves over. He's just going to tuck in at the back. He's playing the numbers now. It's Fitzpatrick, and I think that is the right thing to do. There's no way that Foggy is going to catch the points up on the actual circuit. Would need a good 40 cars out there to do that, and that's just not going to happen. So it's all about survival.
Yeah, it really is. As you say, all Foggy can do is take the win and hope that Fitzpatrick has a problem. And as you say, he's struggling for position, but Fitzpatrick's just playing the game maybe to make sure he stays out of trouble down in 9th, as Foggy and Halliburton rocketing around this circuit. They've pulled 3 seconds now, and Paul Crabb, who we saw just behind him a lap ago, in 3rd place. So yeah, last time by, 58.8, 58.5 for the front 2. Paul Crabb 201.6, and then 202 for the next 2 cars. So yeah, 3-4 second gap between the front 2 and the cars following. Pretty crazy pace these guys are running. Whenever we see them together, they do seem to just push each other along to new lap times. And Bathurst is maybe the place where that could bite you hard if you're pushing to those sort of limits. Is Halliburton going to back out of it again? He doesn't. Foggy goes defensive just to cover it off on the approach to the chase. And Halliburton just seems content for now. He's got plenty of time left, but not content here is Kip Stevens looking to go up the outside of Denton into the chase. Denton defends well, holds on to that position, but now Stevens is going to be under pressure from the Craig setup shop cars behind. Here comes Williams. He's going to have a dive up the inside of Stevens. He is just about keeps his nose in there enough to turn into entry, and he's going to lose another spot as Stevens down to Williamson.
That little lock up there cost him big time, didn't it? Going from attack to defence, and tiniest little mistake and 2 places lost.
Yeah, and a big wiggle off the curb from Williamson ahead as well, but managed to survive. Stevens is going to get a decent tow, but the setup shop guys are just trying to move around a little bit. It's interesting how Williams gave Williamson the tow offline. Stevens tries to stick his nose into turn 2, but nothing happening that time by.
Yeah, teamwork at work at its best there, and we've seen that in all sorts of series, and that's where it's good to have a teammate around. So just get that little bit of assistance.
And just in the back of shot there, Sam Fitzpatrick just lurking behind, giving himself second and a bit buffer to the guys. Probably isn't a bad shout. He's giving himself time to maybe react to an incident that occurs up ahead. But yeah, 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th. All very, very tight as they come through the mountain. Williams looking like he really wants to get this move done on Denton as he takes a huge chunk of curb on the way down the mountain there that survives. Still only 1 car out, Steve Hefford. Pretty good going. Back at the front end, 4 attempts still between Foggy and Halliburton. So again, we've not really seen Halliburton force a move so far, just both running at this pace. What their lap times last time. A little bit slower last time by. Lost half a second on the fastest lap previously. But yeah, still a second or 2 quicker than everyone else around him.
Well, could have poked his nose out there if he wanted to, but again, elected not to. Wait for the absolute right time. Foggy, I think, is slightly quicker over the top of the mountain and pulls away, and he is using the draft to catch back up again. So he's going to go for a move. I feel it's going to have to be sort of around this section of the circuit.
Very, very close between Denton and Williams. Williams gets 4th position for now on Denton onto the inside of turn 1. Denton's going to get a decent drive off the corner, I think. But yeah, Williams looking pretty strong as he's already defending on the way to turn 2 in Quarry Bend. Williams still holding that inside line. Is Denton going to get close enough? Oh, he has a last late minute dive out onto the corner. He tries to keep his nose in there but can't quite do it. How about Williamson behind? Is he going to have a little sneaky look now into the next corner? It'll be tricky. He's not close enough this time by it. So Denton finally loses that spot defended. 4th position for those good 3 or 4 laps. But yeah, real trainer cars behind us trying to move forward.
Yeah, once again, we've got a great race here on our hands. The battle for the lead, that's only 0.3 of a second apart. And then this 4-5 car battle as well.
And so as the leaders come out onto corner straight again, Halliburton looked pretty close that time through the mountain, so we'll see what kind of job he can get through the draft. Less than half a second as they come off the corner. Again, showing a little bit of damage on the rear wing. Maybe that's the case, maybe not. So it's been a little bit irregular tonight with the damage showing on these cars. But Halliburton closing to just 1/10 of a second now as they come towards the chase. Is he going to be aggressive? He's going to make the move this time. Goes up the inside into chase, but Foggy much later on the brakes. Misses the apex slightly, but manages to keep the corner somehow. From the camera angle I was looking at, I thought Foggy just missed that apex slightly. But yeah, Halliburton showed his hand there maybe, and looking to make that move into the chase.
Yeah, like you said, much closer over the mountain this time, but I think he still needs that magical sort of slipstream to be within 4/10 as he comes off and onto that back straight. So I think that's where he'll get clearly alongside, if not slightly ahead, and then should be able to outbrake Foggy. And I think Foggy knew that as well, that actually he could take the normal line and brake a little bit later.
Williamson moved ahead of Denton whilst we've been looking at this battle. So Williamson up to 5th, Denton down to 6th. Kip Stevens looking to try and be the next one to take that position. As gentleman Ritchie is much closer all of a sudden to Sam Fitzpatrick than he was. So Ritchie's earlier got big damage on the left-hand side of that car. Looks so Fitzpatrick gets by, and Ritchie's going to be limping at home for the rest of the race. Oh, up ahead. How close that is between Stevens and Denton and Williamson. Williamson, is he going to get it stopped? A bit twitchy on the brakes on the way in, but manages to keep it together. So Denton still holding on to Williamson, but yeah, looking very tight there as they enter the mountain. Just as it's tight at the front.
Yeah, where do we look at the moment? You know, there's battles going on everywhere. Foggy just a little bit out of shape there, but actually the car rotated very nicely. Ooh. Oh, look up
for spin!
Well, I did not expect that. Mistake from Foggy. He's got enough time to hold on to second. It's not going to make a great deal of difference in terms of what happens in the championship, because it's just a few points difference here. But yeah, Kane putting Foggy under pressure. He was closer than he ever had been, and I think Foggy knew that. Tried to take that as much speed as he could through that corner. Got a little bit out of shape. And yeah, so Kane to the lead with a 3.8 second advantage and only 6 minutes of this race to go.
Yeah, so looking like it's not going to be 3 race wins out of 3 for Nicole Foggy for tonight. But yeah, we can see how hard those guys are pushing, both locking the brakes as they went in there.
He's lifting, he wants some fun, does Kane. He's like, come on, let's have
Last race of the season.
Final race of the season, let's have some fun out there, son. And yeah, so he's lifting, waiting for Foggy. That's what we like to see.
So going to provide us with a bit more entertainment as we come into the second half of the race then. The rest of the time, it's going to cool down a little bit as we see Kip Stevens in the background spearing into the wall in turn 1. I was just about to say that was really the only car looking like he was in a battle, and he promptly puts it into the wall. Going to be limping home for the rest of the race as well. So what happens to Kip Stevens? He's a decent amount behind the car and just loses it entry. Just rear stepped away from him as he turned in somehow, bit of a tank upper, and spat him the other way.
Yeah, it didn't actually make contact with the wall, so he should be absolutely fine. But yeah, like I say, just corrected, and then the car just snaps back as often happens with the current tyre model as well. Over the edge grip, it's non-existent, and then it's like bam.
So yeah, so Kip Stevens recovering, and then in 11th position, closely behind Dan Webster. Our only other battle that we're looking at, really on the whole track at the minute, is right here in front of us. Paul Denton still holding on to that 5th place, so he's done a good job to only really drop 1 spot from like the 2nd lap onwards or so. Fraser Williamson looking to make that 1 more though as they head onto Conrad Straight again. Fair bit of damage on the back of Williamson's car, it looked like, and he has a bit of a wiggle on power as well. Let's have a look on board, see what kind of draft he's going to get. I mean, Denton's got a little bit of draft from Williams ahead of him, so it's coming down. We can see in the battle box in the bottom right corner there, but by less than a tenth on that whole straight. So yeah, not really a huge amount to do for Williamson. How they're going to be looking on the brakes. Closes massively on the brakes. Takes a big chunk of curb, just like we saw McRitchie do in race 1. And you just see how this Radical, especially with this default setup, they just can't cope with those curb hits.
McIntyre, that's not who's not here in this one. We were trying to look for their name. Yeah, McIntyre corner. Thank you. I knew that would come in handy later on.
Yep, there we go. Good stuff. So Williamson and McRitchie then looking pretty close, as are the front guys. So now that Halliburton's just allowed Foggy back into this race, yeah, 3 tenths between them. We'll see how this continues. They're going to have got 2 more laps to run, and not many more opportunities for a challenge from Foggy. I think Foggy will probably go all or nothing. You can see in his relative screen that Fitzpatrick is pretty comfortably now running it in 6th, and Foggy's going to want to join in with this fun that Halliburton's presented him, and maybe go for a do or die move if he gets a sniff.
Yeah, I think they're at this point where just after this next lap, they're going to get the points they need anyway. So we'll lock in Sam. So like you say, he's just he wants this 3 wins, and to say it'll be a gift if he does get it, because it really is. Got to give it to Kane.
Yeah, and it was fastest lap of the race the last time by for Nicole Foggy, 58.43. Of course, he had a good tow from Halliburton as he was catching up to the back of him, but nonetheless, he is rocketing away. We can see in the timing screens, they're the only guys in under 2 minutes, and just a different pace out here today. Right, so Foggy's right on the back all of a sudden of Halliburton, then closing in. Foggy's going to have the inside now for the chase. Halliburton is going to struggle to hold on to that outside line. He's trying his best. Comes across tightly. Foggy a little bit slow mid-corner to make sure he didn't run out too wide, and Halliburton hangs on.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. You don't often see drivers obviously commit to just leaving just a little bit of room on the outside there, and that's why he was able to get that corner. But he knew, he trusted, as up the inside. Finish my point. He knew that Foggy wasn't going to run out and into him, but good move from Foggy straight back. I think this one is not over by any means. Here we go. McRitchie and I think Webster and Mayers all very, very close as well. A bit further back on the timer screen, but we'll stay with this.
So Halliburton looking to come up the inside into turn 2 again. Can Foggy make this outside line work for once? He can't. Nobody can. So that camber. Just see how the car washes out. Sparks flying off the car as he brushes up against the wall. Yeah, just everybody's shown us today that just don't try that outside line on turn 2 there, as Halliburton has a bigger wiggle on traction out of the cutting.
Fitzpatrick on the back of Fraser Williamson started to push a little bit now, has Fitzpatrick, but still, see, actually goes in very, very deep and massive lock up, and loses a little bit of time, but still. I think that is your champion there, running around on the final lap of the race. So congratulations to Sam. The only time that I know of in BSR history that an AM driver has won both the AM and the Pro Championship. Where's Kane gone? He's 4 seconds back. So,
big damage on the car there.
Go on, Foggy, wait for him. It's the only rightful thing to do.
Yeah, and he is. So Halliburton is closing up, but I don't think there's really going to be an opportunity now for one final move before the end of the race.
Will he give him the win because of the fact that he lost it earlier? I don't know. Will he be like, no, sorry, I'm having all 3?
Yeah,
I know what I would
it's 3
do.
races, yeah.
Yeah, I know what I would do.
He's dropping way back, so we'll see how he decides it. Perhaps he's going to aim for a photo finish as Halliburton closes to within a second. So yeah, slightly strange end to this final race of the season as Foggy cruises up towards a line, and Halliburton, I think, is just going to sit there and allow him to win. They need to be careful there as Crabber rockets up behind and only finishes half a second back in third. Craig Williamson looking like he's coming across in fourth, Paul Denton fifth, Williamson sixth, and then there is our championship leader celebrating over the line. Championship winner, not leader, in seventh position, taking the result that he needed from that final race. We knew it was imperative that he did not have a DNF for this final race of the season, and he ticked that box.
Fantastic. Championship for him. I'm a massive advocate of, consistency makes a big difference in a championship sort of result, and Sam just proving it there. Like I say, not the fastest driver by any means, but just constantly banging in the results, the finishes that he needs, and that's why he's at the top of the championship standings as he goes for perhaps I thought he was going to go for a lap backwards, but no, so it's just head back to the start-finish line. It's a long way to drive around the whole lap, isn't it? Yeah, as everyone's finished.
I think it'd be rather embarrassing if you end up putting the wall halfway around as well. But yeah, going for a Vettel Hamilton style start line donuts to finish off the season. So congratulations again to all the runners here in Radical. It's good to see the Radical out in the BSRs. It looks like the guys all had lots of fun, and it was certainly fun for us to broadcast. I mean, 95% of the races this season, we've really rarely had a dull race. Lots of action-packed stuff all the way through, and cracking job from all of the guys.
Yeah, awesome. Right, bring the final classifications up for the final time of the season.
So, as we saw then, Nicole Foggy did technically take the race win in the end from Kane Halliburton after Halliburton allowed him a little bit more fun just to finish off the season. But nonetheless, that's 3 wins out of 3 for the night for Nicole Foggy. Second position in the championship. And great to see one of the strongest drivers that we see out here on the streams having another good week. Kane Halliburton finishing in second. Paul Crabb, I'm sure Foggy and Halliburton will keep an eye on it, but Paul Crabb maybe thought he had a sniff at stealing the win there as its front two are messing around a little bit on the last lap. Craig Williamson in fourth, Paul Denton fifth, Fraser Williamson in sixth, Sam Fitzpatrick championship winner in seventh, Dan Webster eighth, Jamie Mayers ninth, Kip Stevens 10th, James McRitchie in 11th. Luke Cooper unfortunately finished 2 laps down, and Steve Hefford, as we saw, had that incident on the opening lap. And as we said as well, very good awareness from Steve to immediately get the car removed from track and help not cause any upsets with the championship, maybe with people getting tangled up. So good jobs all round.
Right, we have got a couple of guys for interview, so we'll start off with our champion.
It was certainly very clean.
Sorry, Sam, we grabbed you in mid-conversation, so do apologise. We have to start with you, of course, as our championship winner. So congratulations, first off. What an amazing season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Of course, this was my first ever BSR league, first proper league like this. Pretty cool. I didn't win a race for the entire season. 36 races. Didn't win a single one. I've only got a handful of podiums, but those finishes, something I think it's 24 consecutive finishes at the end of the season. That pretty much won it for me, and absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Well, like I said, you don't need to win the races if you keep clocking up the points, and you showed exactly that today. And I also think, so it's your first BSR, but like I say, I mentioned it on the stream earlier, I'm pretty sure we have never seen an AM driver win an AM and Pro championship in the same season. So, of course, you're absolutely screwed if you want to come back next time they do it as an AM. They're not going to let you. You can't win both championships.
There will never be a defending champion.
Nah. I'm not never doing a BSR league ever again. I'm keeping this 100% record. I don't think anyone else has got that record. You know, I'm willing to test anyone on it, but I'm pretty sure no one else does. So I'll take that one. Also, just you know, well done to Nicole. I think he won the Pro Championship, so well done to him. And also Kane as well. Those guys were very close. And also, you know, Johnny and Craig as well, because he was runner up, I think, in the AM Championship. Just so many great drivers in this series. And of course, I realised that quite a few of them probably didn't put their absolute most attention into this series. They got bigger fish to fry, I think. But, you know, I'm still pretty pleased to end up on top of the summit.
See, I have to say, I just want to be clear. Nicole was the top of the pros, but there is no pro championship. You've won both, yeah. So can't give him that. Sorry. Yeah, he was the fastest of the pros, admittedly, but just wasn't as fast as one of the AMs.
Well, I'll take this flat three as much as I can possibly get, because I don't think it'll last for very long. So thank you very much.
Well, any sort of closing thoughts from yourself in terms of the championship, or you know, the series as a whole? You know, things coming up. Just let us know.
Yeah, well, I think this series, on the most part, has been a success. I think, of course, the declining participation hasn't been great, but we were talking off there how the fewer drivers usually turns into better racing. I think you guys were quite entertained today with everything that was going on circuit. And it was nice to see so many top names this season. I think it was, you know, well run. So thanks to certainly Kip and all the other organisers as well. I think the car, whilst it's a bit weird how it's unbelievably fragile in practice. I literally skimmed a wall, didn't feel anything, and then half a lap later got a meatball flag for it. So it's absolutely crazy out there. But, you know, I think it was a good challenge. And I think maybe in the future we're going to have a few more BSR leagues with this car. So maybe, on another night, that'll be very good. So looking forward to it.
Awesome stuff. Well, congrats again, mate. Like I say, if it does come back, we'd like to see you try and defend it. That's for sure. But I understand totally. Keeping that 100% record, that'd be awesome. Congrats, and see you again in the booth.
Yeah, what else?
For future BSR events then.
Yes, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. All right, let's bring in Nicole, and Nicole is with Lee.
Hello.
Yeah, congratulations, Nicole. 3 wins from 3 tonight, but ultimately just missing out on a championship. Did everything that you could. What a cracking circuit to finish your season off.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think I got that first place because me and Kane wanted probably a bit of a battle. I know I wanted a bit of a battle at the end. Seems every time we get near each other, we end up making some just little mistake that just kind of ruins the chance to battle. But it was good anyway, and props to him for especially his pace. Got good pace. We could add more battles, but just a bit unlucky, especially with the setups in these cars. But big congrats to Sam. I think he's done really well. And probably the biggest improver as well. I was saying to him just a minute ago, I think he was probably, you know, the driver that's improved the most. And I had some great battles with him as well. So well done to him.
Yeah, nice to hear. Bit of good sportsmanship all round from the guys. Sam was also very complimentary to yourself. I mean, as you say, we've rubbed our hands several times this season at the prospect of seeing yourself and Kane battle it out, and it seems that maybe you just both push each other just to another level on pace, and that's where just especially with the default setup is maybe the cars just can't cope being so on the limit. Certainly from the outside, it seems that you really kind of push each other on pace. Is that how it seems from your side?
I'd say so. I mean, you push just that little bit harder when you're in front or if you're behind, and just any little bump in this car. I think it's the setup. I don't know. I've never driven, you know, a proper setup or whatever you'd call it, but they seem, you know, you touch a bump and it could just go. Even just go up on a curb just a little bit, just a pretty flat curb. It can sometimes just go. So I think it's a lot of driving to get used to it. But yeah, I think we do push both pretty hard when we're next to each other, and then that makes a lot of mistakes come out of that.
Yeah, for sure. As you say, the default setup definitely does not help in this car, and I'm sure it's maybe a little bit depressing for some of the guys in the championship to hear that you've never driven a car other than just with that default setup. So Pepe hands, I think, maybe for some people out there with the 3-second pace gap that you and Kane had out there today. But it just shows, you got the talent and skill, and you can jump in anything and drive it. And obviously, we see you in many series on our broadcasts, and you're always at the top there. So so congratulations on your season. Commiserations for missing out on a championship. How I'm not following closely enough your other series that you're running in. How have you got any championship results come through from your others?
The V8. So I think I'm doing all right. I've not really looked at the score for a while. I think me and Johnny are at the front for that. And then I dropped out the WGTC because I've not really driven the GTs that much, and they seem a lot more setup dependent. And I'm not used to driving them, I don't think. At least compared to the GT3, which is the one I won in. I like the GT3 a lot. And then the F3s, they're really setup dependent. So occasionally get an all right setup, other times not. I'll probably, now that this series is finished, I might see if I can get a little bit more pace in the F3s. However many rounds are left in that. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you through the remainder of the season in there. Any plugs that you'd like to make before you step away from me?
Just thanks very much to the team. I always love racing with them, as I always say. Unlucky occasionally as well tonight. A few spins and hits and stuff. So the Rich and Johnny weren't in the last race, but fun racing with them anyway. And thanks to you guys as well for the broadcast. Great job as usual. And really enjoy watching them back. And and thanks to the series organisers as well, Kip and whoever else. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Right, thanks very much, Nicole. We look forward to seeing you in future events.
Thanks, dude. I'll see you soon.
Right, so I think that is going to be wrapping up our coverage for not only this round of BSR Radicals, but for the entire season as well. As I say, the Radical will be stepping away for a little bit now, whilst the BSR TC kicks back into place in a few weeks, I believe. Obviously, we're coming to the end of the standard iRacing season now, so a few series are going to be finishing up. So make sure you keep up to date on our social media with the schedules for next season. Follow us on Twitter, on Twitch, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and make sure you don't miss your favourite series for next season. So thanks very much, Alex. It's been fun watching this most of the season with you, and also Andrew Woodhouse at the beginning. These Radicals, I was really pleased to see we're generating some cracking racing, as we've been saying. Yeah,
I've thoroughly enjoyed since I've sort of jumped in, helped out, watching what's going on. So yeah, that's all you can ask for, really, from sort of a commentator stroke camera man's position, is that what you're doing is entertaining as well, because it can get very, very long nights if it's not. And every race, I have to say, since coming in has been absolutely fantastic and on the edge. So what we want.
Excellent. Right, so thank you guys. We shall see you all in the next event, and have a good rest of your evening.